Chapter 301. Fourth floor of the Book Collection Pavilion, Great Sun Undying Golden Body Manual Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Book Collection Pavilion. Now that Lu Yun has become the Saint Child, he has unrestricted access to the Book Collection Pavilion. Lu Yun added the illusionary dance Bewildering Wind step to his panel. This was the second movement-related martial arts cultivation technique he had found in the third level of the Book Collection Pavilion. However, compared to 3000 Thunder Movement, this technique was far inferior. After all, the 3000 Thunder Movement was integrated with energy. The integration of third-level techniques consumes little energy. I should pick up more. Lu Yun stroked his chin. After all, he temporarily lacked energy. Coupled with the significant breakthrough in his cultivation base, enhancing his speed and flexibility would benefit his full potential. After a long time, Lu Yun found another movement technique. Although there were many techniques in the Book Collection Pavilion, they were of various kinds. Movement-related techniques, especially those related to the Wind Thunder Manual, were scarce. It seems I have to go to the fourth floor. Lu Yun has always been fascinated by mysteries. Finally, he could fulfill his desire today and was delighted. However, he didn't know how to go to the fourth floor and needed to find the elder of the Book Collection Pavilion. As Lu Yun's strength increased, he could faintly sense the power of the elder guarding the Book Collection Pavilion. It was beyond the peak of the Golden Body Realm, but had not yet reached the Rune Seed Realm. Elder Luo, I want to go to the fourth floor. The elder guarding the Book Collection Pavilion was named Luo, but Lu Yun didn't know his full name. The fourth floor. Elder Luo glanced at Lu Yun with raised eyebrows and said, Saint Child, if I'm not mistaken, you are only in the Origin Fluid Realm now, right? Yes, is there a problem? No, it's just that given your current realm, I'm afraid you won't gain anything even if you enter the fourth floor, the elder of the Book Collection Pavilion said in a deep voice. Lu Yun frowned slightly after hearing this. Is there something special about the fourth floor? Seeing Lu Yun's puzzled expression, the elder guarding the Book Collection Pavilion laughed. If the Saint Child insists on going to the fourth floor, I will show you the way. He had been guarding the Book Collection Pavilion for a long time and rarely went out, but he had heard of Lu Yun's reputation. Lu Yun was a monstrous talent and wielded terrifying battle power. Perhaps the fourth floor of the Book Collection Pavilion would be rewarding for him. Okay, please lead the way, Elder Luo. Lu Yun stepped aside to make a way for him. Following the elder of the Book Collection Pavilion, they climbed the third floor, bypassed the jade walls of inheritance, and finally found a staircase. The staircase led to another space that seemed to be pitch black and mysterious. The first thing they saw were 4 bronze stone doors. The fourth floor of the Book Collection Pavilion is the foundation of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and is extremely important. Those who enter without the guidance of me or the Dean will only end up dead, Elder Luo warned. Hearing this, Lu Yun instantly shuddered, feeling glad that he had called for the elder, or else he would not have dared to imagine the consequences. In reality, ordinary people might not be able to find the staircase to the fourth floor. Lu Yun had merely frightened himself. If Lu Yun hadn't followed the elder of the Book Collection Pavilion earlier, he wouldn't have found the staircase even if he had looked for 2 or 3 days. When they arrived at the second stone door, Elder Luo took out a token. A golden light emanated from it and landed on the bronze stone door. Click, the bronze stone door slowly opened. This scene piqued Lu Yun's curiosity. Your Saint Child token can also break the sword prohibition on the bronze stone door. Suspecting that Lu Yun was curious, the elder of the Book Collection Pavilion explained. Lu Yun entered the stone door and once again saw 4 identical bronze stone doors, his eyes narrowing slightly. Each bronze stone door leads to 4 different bronze stone doors? Saint Child, your Saint Child token can also break the prohibition on the bronze stone doors. After mentioning this, the elder added, however, there are many bronze stone doors. If you accidentally make a mistake, it will be irreversible, so please be sure to remember the route. Good grief! Lu Yun became even more curious about the martial arts techniques on the fourth floor, which required so many obstacles. Following Elder Luo, Lu Yun passed through one bronze stone door after another, committing the entire route to memory. As his cultivation base and spiritual power increased, so did his photographic memory. It wasn't a problem to remember these routes, and they would be remembered for a long time. They finally arrived at a spacious hall after passing through 9 bronze stone doors. Upon entering this hall, Lu Yun was dumbfounded. It was not so much a hall as it was a dark, empty space. There were no jade walls of inheritance here. Looking around, he only saw a bronze pillar standing in the center. This pillar is not simple, Lu Yun thought suddenly. Not to mention the dangers from the 3rd floor to here. Just the mysterious aura emanating from the bronze pillar alone was enough to completely draw Lu Yun's attention. The elder of the book collection pavilion pointed to the bronze pillar in the center of the hall and said, "This is the divine martial enlightenment pillar, created by the first-generation primordial emperor when he spread martial arts throughout the Morijin. There are only 365 of these pillars in the entire Morijin, and our Flying Spirit Martial Academy is fortunate to have one, thanks to the dean's efforts." He paused here, not continuing, but Lu Yun could clearly see a hint of regret in his eyes. The Divine Martial Enlightenment Pillar contains numerous martial arts techniques, but there is only one opportunity to comprehend them every year. The Saint Child is fortunate to have one opportunity this year. Lu Yun's heart tightened upon hearing these words. Do I lose my opportunity to comprehend just once, and that's it? It's a rare opportunity, Saint Child, cherish it well. An elder from the book collection pavilion couldn't help but remind. Had it not been for considering Lu Yun as the Martial Academy's Saint Child, he would never have brought him here. The Divine Martial Enlightenment Pillar allows only one comprehension opportunity per year, which is extremely rare for the many Golden Body Realm elders. Even more, for the sake of obtaining such an opportunity, the price paid by those Golden Body Realm elders is far from small. Lu Yun knew nothing about these. He nodded and walked toward the bronze stone pillar. There were patterns and dark cracks on the stone pillar, but Lu Yun couldn't see anything clearly, only feel a mysterious aura emanating from it. Taking a deep breath, his face became more composed, and Lu Yun stepped forward directly to the bronze stone pillar. It was at this time that the mysterious light from the bronze stone pillar completely enveloped Lu Yun. In the vision of the book collection pavilion elder, Lu Yun stood frozen in place like a daydreamer. According to rumors, there is an extremely powerful martial arts technique inside the Divine Martial Enlightenment Pillar. If Saint Child can comprehend it, with this thought, a wisp of brightness flashed through the elder's aged pupils. As the brilliance shone, instantly dispelling the darkness, Lu Yun seemed to have arrived in a different space. This was a vast space with an endless starry river in the distance, and above was a hanging painting in the sky. The painting emitted an endless mysterious light, enveloping the area. Lu Yun's attention was immediately drawn to the painting. Divine Martial Enlightenment Painting. A mysterious voice appeared in Lu Yun's mind, seemingly appearing out of nowhere. However, when Lu Yun's gaze fell upon the painting, he couldn't see anything clearly, only a vague image. It was as if the painting hanging in the sky was veiled in mist. Lu Yun sat down cross-legged, concentrating fully, and his eyes blazed with an unusual glow as he looked at the painting once more. At this moment, Lu Yun felt the mist in the painting begin to stir, as if being slowly separated by a massive force, revealing the mysteries within. An aura of mysterious profundity, accompanied by the scattering of the mysterious light, fell upon Lu Yun. Immediately, he experienced a sensation of dizziness, feeling as if his spirit was being absorbed, and his body was enveloped in a strong weightlessness, as if thrown and spun in midair by a great force. It felt like only a moment had passed, or perhaps a very long time. The sensation of dizziness and spinning slowly faded, and Lu Yun's spirit finally returned to him. Just as his eyes refocused on the painting, he suddenly saw a golden light sphere flying out from the painting, accompanied by the mysterious light. What is that? Seeing the golden light sphere intertwined with the mysterious light, Lu Yun pondered. At this moment, Lu Yun's pupils suddenly contracted. Something's not right, that golden light sphere seems to be coming in my direction. The speed of the golden light sphere increased rapidly, exceeding Lu Yun's understanding. With such extreme speed, even a gust of wind created by it would be immeasurable in power. Although he was confident in his body, he did not know what would happen if he were to be hit by this light sphere. When he wanted to dodge, the golden light scattered by the sphere enveloped his body, completely restraining him and not allowing him to dodge at all. Lu Yun could only watch as the golden light sphere approached rapidly, and then touched his forehead. There was no pain as imagined, only a cool sensation, as if gently touched by something soft. The next instant Lu Yun felt dizzy, and there was a surge in his sea of consciousness. It seems to have entered my sea of consciousness. The sea of consciousness is one of the most secretive and important places for a martial artist. An unknown entity entering it caused Lu Yun to worry. He immediately focused his mind, his consciousness appearing in the sea of consciousness. Due to his breakthrough, the use of energy points to enhance his techniques, and accepting memories, his sea of consciousness space had expanded countless times compared to before. Here, Lu Yun quickly found the golden light sphere. To his surprise, the golden light sphere seemed to be well-behaved and didn't cause havoc, which undoubtedly relieved Lu Yun. What is this? As Lu Yun slowly approached, the golden light emitted by the sphere completely enveloped him, and the surrounding gray mist seemed to take on a golden hue. The golden light ball came out of the divine martial enlightenment painting, which is in the bronze stone pillar. Lu Yun's thoughts turned rapidly, and soon a guess formed in his heart. Could this golden light ball be the martial arts technique that can only be obtained by comprehending the divine martial enlightenment painting? But I haven't even started to comprehend it. Why did it fly towards me plus? Could it be that it saw my uniqueness and took the initiative to join me? Lu Yun approached the ball of light, reached out with his right hand and grabbed it. Buzz! Almost at the same instant, the golden light sphere merged into the body formed by Lu Yun's consciousness. Great Sun Undying Golden Body Manual? After fully absorbing and digesting the information from the golden light sphere, Lu Yun slowly opened his eyes, the pupils of which radiated an inconceivable expression. Chapter 302. Shocked because I saw it as his consciousness left the sea of consciousness space, Lu Yun's gaze once again fell upon the scroll hanging in the sky. Arcane light flowing, interwoven mysterious aura, the scroll that was originally shrouded in mist now revealed its true nature. It seemed like only an instant had passed, yet also like many years had gone by. The scroll slowly descended, eventually hanging in the air not far from Lu Yun, allowing him to see the patterns on it clearly. It was a figure standing on the peak of a mountain range, limitless in spirit and unparalleled in divine might. Lu Yun widened his eyes, the world in the scroll expanding infinitely, and the figure constantly enlarging, becoming clearer. It felt as if Lu Yun was being drawn into the world within the painting, where the clouds in the sky, the mountains underfoot, and the distant mountain range all felt as real as life. Especially the figure standing on the peak of the mountains, towering on high. He seemed to be covered with a thin layer of translucent veil, surrounded by hazy fog. His back faced Lu Yun, exuding an extremely mysterious feeling. At this moment, a sudden gust of wind picked up, and from far away within the mountain range, a heavy fog swirled, a pair of ghostly eyes sweeping across a lake, staring in this direction. It seemed to have noticed the mysterious figure on the mountain peak, or discovered something else. With a silvery beak the size of a crescent moon, it let out a soft whistle and flew over, its massive body passing like dark clouds. Human race, a delicious meal. A dull voice came from the beak of the ferocious bird, its ghostly eyes filled with malicious energy. Watching the approaching ferocious bird from afar, Lu Yun felt a strong sense of shock. With the flapping of its wings, mountains crumbled, the earth cracked, and he had never seen such a massive body and terrifying strength before. Compared to this ferocious bird, the 5th-rank demon beasts and even the peak of the 6th-rank demon beasts he had seen before were nothing but ants. Humans, such a lovable yet hateful race. The ferocious bird growled, its green eyes filled with killing intent, releasing a thick lightning bolt as wide as a heavenly pillar, aimed at the location of the mysterious figure. No, it was aimed at the foot of the mountain where the mysterious figure was. Lu Yun's pupils constricted as he suddenly realized that there was a tribe there, a human tribe. Far separated by thousands of miles, he shouldn't have been able to see clearly with his vision alone. But at this moment everything was extremely clear. In the tribe, everyone was fierce, their blood and chi boundless, and even the children could carry fierce tigers on their shoulders. However, at this very moment, the thick lightning bolt crashed down, causing mountains to collapse, the earth to crumble, and clouds of dust to rise. The place where the tribe was located was blown into a deep pit with a scorched, blackened surface. "You dare invade the human tribe? Aren't you afraid of being killed by our human experts?" The strongest person in the tribe angrily questioned. Who can kill me?" The ferocious bird with massive green eyes roared, causing the mountains to tremble and the earth to shake with a single howl, scattering the dark clouds in the sky. Then, spreading its wings, it swooped down, its colossal physique covering the entire sky, as black fog enveloped everything. Though far away, Lu Yun could hear the terrible screams within the black fog and could only imagine the horrifying scene. Utterly defenseless, it was nothing short of naked slaughter. "Ha ha ha, human flesh and blood really are delicious." The ferocious bird laughed, flapping its wings and instantly flying over the boundless land. The landscape seemed to draw closer rapidly, and Lu Yun's sight followed the ferocious bird's body, only to see it arrive at an even larger tribe in the blink of an eye. This was an enormous tribe with tens of millions of people, various bustling cities, and a dense population. Roar! The ferocious bird opened its silvery beak, and a terrifying dark light burst out, enveloping a region tens of thousands of miles wide. Unprepared, a prosperous city densely populated by humans was struck with catastrophe. The terrifying power, like a raging torrent and a mighty wave surging to the sky, caused all the humans within the area covered by the dark light to be uncontrollably swept into the air and fall into the ferocious bird's massive beak. This horrifying scene completely stunned Lu Yun. Swallowing hundreds of thousands of humans in one gulp, how could anyone in Morijin resist such a powerful demon beast? Furthermore, these humans were incredibly powerful, even children were capable of tearing apart fierce tigers. But such a powerful human tribe was powerless to resist the ferocious bird, which was completely baffling. Lu Yun couldn't help but wonder just how terrifying this ferocious bird's strength truly was. How could it be? The legendary demonic beast, a 9-nether thunderbird. Heavens, how could such a creature appear in our Great Wind tribe? In the Great Wind tribe, both old and young women cried out, turning into nothingness within the dark light, while the middle-aged men barely managed to resist, but it didn't take long for them to struggle. The difference between them was too vast, resistance was futile, their bodies exploded into pieces, turning into flesh and blood that was consumed by the ferocious bird. This was a terrifying scene, with the massive ferocious bird covering the sky, its enormous body casting a shadow on everything, its entire being wrapped in black demon energy, and the dark light it spat out enveloping tens of thousands of miles of land. Millions of humans were helplessly consumed. Witnessing this, Lu Yun's eyes turned red, his fists clenched, his nails piercing deep into the flesh of his palms, but he couldn't feel any pain. The pain of the body was nothing compared to the pain of the heart. Pft! Splat! Once all the flesh and blood of these humans was swallowed, the 9-nether thunderbird became invigorated, the black fog surrounding it grew even thicker, and its enormous, ghostly green eyes expressed satisfaction. Truly worthy of being the spiritual creature of the world, just over 1,000,000 human blood spirits can make my strength increase by half. At this moment, a surprise attack came, accompanied by an onslaught of golden light, which seemed to envelope the sky, aiming to shoot and kill this cruel and hateful ferocious bird. Unfortunately, the 9-nether thunderbird was too powerful, and with a spread of its wings, it blocked the attack. The giant eyes of the 9-nether thunderbird swept across, landing on the human figure holding a giant golden bow, and a hint of disdain flashed in its eyes. Great human archer? A pity that you're just too weak. Immediately after, it spat out a mountain-like thunderbolt, attacking the approaching great human archer. Even the incredibly powerful great human archer in Lu Yun's eyes was instantly destroyed. What kind of powerhouse could possibly stop this ferocious bird? Lu Yun watched helplessly, unable to do anything. At this moment, Lu Yun suddenly noticed that the mysterious figure standing on the mountain peak seemed to have trembled slightly. He wasn't sure if it was an illusion, so he blinked and took another look. It was true, the mysterious figure had moved. No, the gray mist enveloping him began to flow, like a stream of water. It started sluggishly, then gradually accelerated. With a hiss, all the mist was absorbed and refined. In an instant, his aura surged uncontrollably. Boom! Tribulation clouds gathered in the sky, thunder rolled and rumbled. Is this thunder tribulation? Lu Yun looked up at the dark and rolling clouds overhead, frowning. That peerless monster bird was massacring the human race while this mysterious person was undergoing tribulation. What was going on? As Lu Yun watched anxiously, the thunder tribulation in the sky finally turned into lightning torrents, descending upon him. Such terrifying tribulation power was truly horrifying. Just one bolt of thunder was enough to easily shatter mountains. The mysterious figure stood in midair, surrounded by golden light, his black hair flowing like ink, shimmering with the luster of gold dancing in the wind. Countless torrents of thunder descended, as if the end of the world had arrived. But the mysterious person raised one hand as if to prop up the heavens. Innumerable torrents of thunder struck directly into his palm. The mysterious person's body trembled, numerous bolts of lightning coursing into his flesh. In the blink of an eye, a boundless golden energy surged within him, and a golden sun illusion emerged behind him. Carrying a heaven-shaking divinity, the golden sun fiercely absorbed all the rolling thunder, pouring it all into the mysterious person's body. Endless thunder, forge my great sun undying golden body. Under the world-ending thunder, the mysterious person was not only unafraid, but used it as a means to temper his great sun undying golden body. This scene completely astonished Lu Yun. He had also borrowed thunder to enhance his thunder conception before. But the two experiences were incomparable. Each bolt of thunder here was powerful enough to easily crush countless mountain ranges. And the mysterious person absorbed all the thunder. Lu Yun wondered whether the mysterious person was powerful, or if the great sun golden body was simply absurd. Lu Yun thought to himself, refine them all. The mysterious person grasped at the sky as if seizing all the thunder above. The great sun behind him trembled slightly, absorbing the terrifying thunder like a waterfall in reverse. Lu Yun noticed that as the thunder was absorbed, the mysterious person's body underwent a transformation. On his exposed abdomen, 16 golden, shimmering abdominal muscles appeared. In the blood-red light on his chest, golden blood flowed like a torrential river, with the surrounding aura swirling around him like a golden dragon. The great sun illusion behind him became more solid and imposing, exuding even greater divinity. The human race shall not be oppressed. The human race shall not be humiliated. The human race shall empower itself. These three phrases rang out in succession. The first phrase was like a soft murmur in his ear, barely audible to Lu Yun. The second was extremely loud and resonant, making his eardrums ache. By the time the third phrase came, it was like a rallying cry, an ancient profound stone, thunderclaps echoing through the heavens and shaking the earth. From his ears to his soul, it reverberated endlessly. The human race shall not be oppressed. The human race shall not be humiliated. The human race shall empower itself. Lu Yun repeated these 3 phrases, filled with astonishment. Is he saying this to me? Yes, it must be. Lu Yun's heart was a storm of tumultuous emotions. He was acutely aware that all of this was happening within the painting and did not truly exist. Whether it was the human tribe, the overwhelmingly powerful monster bird, or the mysterious figure who created the great sun golden body, they were all part of the divine martial enlightenment painting's illusion. However, the voice reverberating within his heart and deepest consciousness told him that it was real. At least, the mysterious person was real, able to sense his arrival. The human race shall not be oppressed. This time, the voice came from afar. The mysterious person appeared in the sky, carrying the great sun, and with a single stomp, the heavens collapsed and countless mountains crumbled. The enormous monster bird was firmly crushed beneath his foot. The human race shall not be humiliated. Another deep and muffled voice rang out, shaking the universe. The echoing sounds filled the world, deafeningly loud. Bathed in golden light, the mysterious person grabbed the immense, shadowing wings of the monster bird and tore them off its body. Roar! The 9-nether thunderbird let out a mournful scream, its monster blood containing a massive amount of energy, splattering across countless mountains, smashing through them. The human race shall empower itself. The mysterious person roared, and in an instant, the resplendent great sun behind him began to grow rapidly. The radiant golden light illuminated hundreds of thousands of miles, and the scorching temperature burned the entire sky. Those who oppress and humiliate my human race shall die. Boom! The golden sun came crashing down, its boundless radiance and terrifying might falling on the 9-nether thunderbird beneath his feet. In the end, all Lu Yun could hear was an ultimate wail, followed by a terrifying shockwave that blasted everything away. The drifting clouds in the sky, the mountains underfoot, the endless mountain ranges, the world-devouring monster bird wreathed in demon energy, and the enigmatic powerful figure. Everything vanished before his eyes, and the only thing left was that unrelenting vow reverberating in his mind. The human race shall empower itself. Chapter 303. Instant horizon, spatial conception. His mind returned to his body, and his gaze looked again at the divine martial enlightenment painting suspended in midair. At this point, the mysterious Xian light and mysterious aura emitted from it slowly faded and then began to disappear. Immediately after, the divine martial enlightenment painting suddenly shattered and turned into strands of starlight disappearing into the starry sky. This sudden scene immediately shocked Lu Yun. However, before he could react, the star river space began to collapse, and his body paused. When he came back to his senses, there was only a bronze stone pillar in front of him. Finally out. When Elder Luo saw Lu Yun's body trembling for a moment, a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. 12 hours. Lu Yun had comprehended the divine martial enlightenment pillar for a full 12 hours, the longest time anyone had comprehended the enlightenment pillar so far. Before this, the longest time spent comprehending the divine martial enlightenment pillar was 6 hours, created by a heavenly pride 100 years ago from the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. But now, Lu Yun had doubled that time limit. The longer the comprehension time, the greater the harvest. Especially for someone with monstrous innate talent like Lu Yun. Elder Luo's body trembled with excitement, and his turbid eyes sparkled as he stared at Lu Yun intently. However, as Lu Yun's current state was quite peculiar, as if he was realizing or recalling something, Elder Luo didn't dare to interrupt and waited quietly. Before long, the confusion in Lu Yun's eyes disappeared, as if he had completely recovered. Lu Yun, how were your gains? Elder Luo saw Lu Yun coming over with a full smile on his face. Not bad. Lu Yun nodded, not knowing how to answer Elder Luo for a moment. Was he going to tell him that he hadn't comprehended anything, and the inheritance just ran into his sea of consciousness on its own, and he got to watch a peerless battle for free? Moreover, when he came out, he had seen the divine martial enlightenment painting shatter with his own eyes. It was uncertain whether this would affect later people who came to comprehend it. Thinking about this, he looked back at the bronze stone pillar once more. However, unlike before, the mysterious patterns on the bronze stone pillar were still enigmatic, but the Xian light they emitted had become somewhat weak, no longer giving people the instant amazing and lost feeling they had previously. To verify his thoughts, Lu Yun looked at Elder Luo and asked, "Elder Luo, do you see any differences between this bronze stone pillar and before?" Elder Luo heard the words and looked carefully for a moment before shaking his head slightly. "This divine martial enlightenment pillar has been here for hundreds of years and has never changed. Have you noticed any differences?" "Oh no." Lu Yun certainly wouldn't admit it. After leaving the 4th floor, Lu Yun asked, "Elder Luo, can you tell me more secrets about the divine martial enlightenment pillar?" "Actually, it's not really a secret." Elder Luo smiled and nodded. "There are a total of 365 divine martial enlightenment pillars, created by the first-generation primordial emperor, who then personally left behind martial arts inheritance. Each divine martial enlightenment pillar contains numerous cultivation techniques and martial arts methods, encompassing everything. As long as one can comprehend a martial arts method or technique, they have the opportunity to advance to the rune seed realm." Finally, he paused for a moment and said mysteriously, "It is rumored that the greatest secret of the divine martial enlightenment pillar is that it hides a martial arts method for forging a holy body." "A martial arts method for forging a holy body?" Lu Yun's eyes burst with brilliant light upon hearing this. This rumor came from the prosperous martial arts places like Central Province and Wu Province. They had those monstrous geniuses who had comprehended the method of forging a holy body, but never appeared in the Morijin. Elder Luo looked back at Lu Yun and smiled. "If our saint child can comprehend the hidden holy body method, then the rise of our flying spirit martial academy can be expected. Is that holy body method really that powerful?" Elder Luo smiled slightly. At that time, the first-generation primordial emperor had 9 disciples, and all 9 were heavenly prides who practiced the holy body method. "I've never heard of this before, and the book collection pavilion doesn't have any records either." Lu Yun tried to dig for more information indirectly. "Some things, of course, can't be recorded and can only be passed down by word of mouth. Especially after the primordial emperor mysteriously disappeared hundreds of years ago, his 9 disciples vanished from the Morijin altogether, and all traces of them were erased overnight. Some powerful beings speculated that the primordial emperor led his disciples across the endless great wilderness to a more prosperous martial arts realm." Hearing this, Lu Yun suddenly recalled a book he had accidentally seen before. It mentioned that during the era when the 9 provinces were under the rule of the 100 sects, the primordial emperor suddenly appeared and overthrew the rule of the 100 sects while driving the demon beasts out of the 9 provinces. So, how did the primordial emperor appear? He was definitely not from the 100 sects, nor from any aristocratic family in the 9 provinces. With the terrifying power to topple the rule of the 100 sects and expel the demon beasts, such a person appeared without making a sound, as if falling from the mountain, which couldn't help but be thought-provoking. Perhaps what I saw in the scroll really existed and was deliberately left behind in the inheritance by the primordial emperor. Lu Yun didn't know if he was right, nor did he want to tell Elder Luo or anyone else about it. Only heaven knew what kind of storm this secret would cause if it ever got out. Lu Yun couldn't imagine the consequences. For now, it was best to focus on the present and wait for the right opportunity to verify it. After all, it was still a matter of strength. Although he was now one of the top powerhouses in Spirit Martial Prefecture, there were still many people stronger than him throughout Ling Province and the entire Morijin. After leaving the book collection pavilion, Lu Yun returned to the pill medicine building. He was the master of the pill medicine building, and it was his private place. "Master, these are the spirit herbs we've collected recently." As soon as he saw Lu Yun, Huang Qi happily greeted him, deliberately adding respect to his voice. Before, he respected Lu Yun because of his martial academy's Saint Child and pill medicine building master status. Now, he respected Lu Yun's strength even more. This respect came from his heart. "Alright, I'll find some time to refine them into pills." Lu Yun smiled, nodded, collected all the spirit herbs, and walked straight to the upper floor. Pill Medicine Building, 5th floor. Cultivation Room. Lu Yun sat cross-legged on a cushion. Name: Lu Yun Faction Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Cultivation Techniques: Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Original Liquid Chapter, 1% Great Accomplishment, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th Layer, Annihilation 100%, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 1st Layer, One Strike End Sins 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 2nd Layer, 3000 Thunder Movement, 100%, Fist Scripture, 1st Layer, Red Sun Breaks the Sky 10%, Finger Scripture, 1st Layer, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Illusionary Dance Bewitching Wind Step, Pre-Entry, Cloud Trail Charming Shadow, Pre-Entry, Astonishing, Pre-Entry, Physical Body, Great Sun Gold Body, Pre-Entry, Innate Talent, Level 8 Martial Arts, Late Stage Origin Fluid Realm, Energy Value, 123,000 automatically increases by 8 every day. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 3rd rank 35%. Thunder Conception, 2nd rank 27%. Skills: Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 1%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 4th rank 1%. Luck Value, 46, Martial Academy's Saint Child. Increase by 1 every day. It took nearly 30,000 energy points to raise the Pure Yang Martial Canon Original Liquid Chapter to Great Accomplishment. It wasn't as much as he had imagined. But to raise it to perfection, or even to reach profound, the energy needed would increase even more. Even though he had over 100,000 energy points on his panel, Lu Yun still needed to be careful about how he used it. Lu Yun's attention was focused on the newly appearing physical body option on the panel. It was the Great Sun Gold Body, which had been automatically added to the panel after fusing with his consciousness in the Sea of Consciousness. Great Sun Golden Body, one of the 365 holy bodies of the human race, created by the Great Sun Divine Monarch. Seeing the information on the panel, Lu Yun's pupils contracted, as if he had discovered a new land, trembling with excitement. 365 holy bodies of the human race and Great Sun Divine Monarch contained too much information. For example, in addition to the Great Sun Gold Body, there were over 300 other holy bodies. But there had never been any such rumors in Morijin. Furthermore, the identity of the Great Sun Divine Monarch, who created such a holy body, must be very famous, but there were no records of the Great Sun Divine Monarch in all the archives of Morijin. Even no one had heard of the Great Sun Divine Monarch nickname, and the knowledge of holy bodies was limited to rumors. From this, Lu Yun could deduce that the 12 provinces of Morijin may just be one small branch of the human race. If this speculation were to be spread, it would set off an incredible uproar. Because in everyone's hearts, the human race is Morijin. And Morijin is the human race. But the information about the 365 holy bodies of the human race and Great Sun Divine Monarch is a complete revelation to everyone's understanding. Looking at it this way, the disappearance of the primordial emperor and his 9 disciples may not be so simple. This world isn't as simple as I thought. All the secrets may be hidden on the other side of the endless great wilderness. Thinking of this, Lu Yun became even more interested in entering the great wilderness. However, the premise of it all was that he had to become stronger, much stronger. Otherwise, even a 7th-rank demon beast could easily take his life. Moreover, if what he saw in the divine martial enlightenment painting was true, then the world outside was even more dangerous. He gathered his thoughts. Upgrade. Consumes 500 energy points, illusionary dance bewitching wind step upgraded to first layer, 1%. Consumes 450 energy points, cloud trail charming shadow upgraded to first layer, 1%. Consumes 600 energy points, astonishing upgraded to first layer, 1%. Opening the fusion panel of Wind Thunder Manual. It was discovered that Wind Thunder Manual could fuse with illusionary dance bewitching wind step, cloud trail charming shadow, and astonishing. The fusion requires 10,000 energy points. After just half a breath of hesitation, Lu Yun chose to fuse. The next moment, the energy points on the panel sharply decreased by 10,000, and then the fusion began. 12 hours later, the fusion was completed. Instant Horizon. Third layer of Wind Thunder Manual, fused with 3,000 thunder movement, illusionary dance bewitching wind step, cloud trail charming shadow, and astonishing. Upon reaching perfection, it can break through space and instantly move tens of thousands of miles away. Instantly move tens of thousands of miles away? Lu Yun's eyes lit up as he saw this information. With Instant Horizon, even if he couldn't defeat his opponents, he could escape, and he could easily escape tens of thousands of miles away. It felt so amazing. Upgrade it for me. Energy value dropped by 25,000 points at once. The gray figure in his mind began to cultivate. Soon after, the memories fused, and Lu Yun's attention returned to the panel. Cultivation Techniques. Wind Thunder Manual, third layer, Instant Horizon, 100%. Haha, it feels like the space is about to break. The moment Instant Horizon's cultivation progress reached 100%, Lu Yun felt as if he was becoming more intimate with the world. He even faintly felt an urge to integrate into the space at will. Hold on. Something's not right. Lu Yun's gaze returned to the panel. Conception. Slaughter Conception, third rank 35%, Thunder Conception, second rank 27%, Spatial Conception, first rank 17%. Chapter 304. Preparations before departure. Spatial Conception. Lu Yun rubbed his eyes, making sure that he wasn't seeing things. Moreover, the progress of the spatial conception was at first rank 17%. Lu Yun was excited for a while before finally calming down. But the lingering happiness in the corner of his eyes was enough to prove his excitement before. The spatial conception he had comprehended was never recorded in the book collection pavilion's materials. Even more, no one had ever heard of spatial conception. Lu Yun's understanding of space came from his memories of his previous life. Time is king and space is supreme. Fate does not come out and cause and effect are the highest. This sentence may not be entirely accurate, but it does have some reference value. The spatial conception is not very useful now, but once it becomes completely powerful, it will be my super trump card. Lu Yun's face was solemn. If it were any other conception, he wouldn't care too much about it, and wouldn't even actively try to improve it. However, the spatial conception was different. In his mind, it was far more important than the slaughter conception and the thunderbolt intent. Whether it was the slaughter conception, the thunderbolt intent, or the current spatial conception, they were all comprehended because of practicing the cultivation technique to the extreme or merging technique. In this way, Lu Yun might comprehend even more conceptions in the future. If this were true, Lu Yun shook his head slightly. As the saying goes, greed won't help one, so he now had 3 conceptions. If he had more conceptions, he wouldn't have the energy to improve them. Immediately afterward, Lu Yun looked at the panel, and there were still many energy values left. 85,000 energy values. I remember the last time I upgraded the life destruction saber techniques. The progress of the slaughter conception also seemed to have improved. Seeing the slaughter conception's progress at only third rank 35% on the panel, Lu Yun had a plan in his heart. Especially after fighting with Gongliang Jin and Qin Wuming, it made him even more eager to improve his martial arts conception. In the previous battle, if it wasn't for his all-conquering fist, his strength wouldn't necessarily be much stronger than the two of them. Moreover, these two were just heavenly prides of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Their sword and saber intents reached the peak of the 5th rank. Other even more monstrous heavenly prides would master even higher martial arts conceptions. Suddenly, Lu Yun began the new round of improvement with a single thought. 20,000 energy values were consumed, and the second layer of the life-destruction saber techniques, Unparalleled Blood Blade, reached 100% progress. A strong torrent of memories rushed into his mind, beginning the fusion, and Lu Yun's blood-red killing intent became even stronger. The entire cultivation room turned into a place of unparalleled killing, with the temperature dropping to its lowest point. At this moment, Huang Qi, who was in charge of the pill medicine building, looked at Lu Yun's seclusion room with a slightly changed expression, hurriedly sealing off this chilling aura with his hands. It seems like the pavilion master has become even stronger. Seeing the intercepted coldness and the blood-red cultivation room, Huang Qi was visibly shocked. No wonder he is the first saint child of our Flying Spirit Martial Academy. His strength is constantly increasing. At the same time, Huang Qi also genuinely admired Lu Yun, who had such a monstrous talent but spent almost every moment cultivating, except for refining pills. Time quietly passed by. Name: Lu Yun Cultivation Technique, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, Second Layer, Unparalleled Blood Blade, 100%. Energy Value: 65,000 automatically increases by 8 per day. Conception: Slaughter Conception, 3rd rank 70%. When the Unparalleled Blood Blade reaches its limit, the progress of the Slaughter Conception will also be upgraded by 1/3. Lu Yun nodded in satisfaction, as the increase in the Slaughter Conception exceeded his expectations. At the same time, it also saved a considerable amount of energy value. Afterward, he embarked on a new round of improvement, but this time it was to improve the Slaughter Conception. For a 3rd rank Slaughter Conception, it required 150 energy values to increase by 1 progress. After consuming 4,500 energy values, the Slaughter Conception reached its limit in the 3rd rank. Continue to improve. A 4th rank Slaughter Conception requires 300 energy values to increase by 1 progress. Consume 10,000 energy values. Consume 10,000 energy values. Finally, the energy values on the panel sharply dropped to 21,500, and the Slaughter Conception was upgraded to 4th rank 100%. How come this coldness keeps getting stronger? Huang Qi's initial shock turned into horror as he hurriedly increased his strength to barely stop the spreading coldness. Just the overflowing coldness forced me to use 40% of my strength to suppress it. If I face the Pavilion Master, I'm afraid I won't be able to unleash 80% of my strength. Huang Qi secretly marveled and ordered the pill medicine building to be closed, prohibiting anyone from approaching it. Even with Huang Qi's suppression, most of the pill medicine building was frozen, and bloody killing intent enveloped more than half of the pill medicine building. If other Martial Academy disciples are accidentally swept into it, even if they don't lose their minds, their spirits will suffer a great loss. As the person in charge of the pill medicine building, Huang Qi naturally had to prevent such a situation from happening. In the cultivation room, Lu Yun called out the panel again. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 5th rank 70%. Energy value, 0. 5,000 automatically increases by 8 per day. Looking at the panel with a progress of 5th rank 70% in the Slaughter Conception, Lu Yun knew that he had become stronger again. At the same time, he was broke again. Just then, Lu Yun suddenly heard a voice. Pavilion Master, I can't hold on much longer. The owner of the voice seemed to be afraid of disturbing Lu Yun's cultivation, so it was relatively quiet. However, with the slaughter conception's major breakthrough, his perception improved greatly due to the feedback to his spirit. Chapter 305. Preparations before leaving. After he had just finished cultivating, the faint sound clearly entered his ears. That seems to be Huang Qi's voice. What's wrong with him? Why did he say he can't hold on much longer? Could there be an enemy invading the pill medicine building? Lu Yun opened his eyes and was immediately shocked by the scene before him. This cultivation room had completely turned into a hell of slaughter, a bloody red hue everywhere, and his vision was completely obscured by killing intent. Stepping out of the cultivation room, the hallway outside was frozen by extreme cold, and more than half of the pill medicine building had almost turned into ice sculptures. Huang Qi was continuously using his true origin to block the spread of killing intent and cold, and he seemed to have exhausted too much, looking extremely tired. Seeing this scene, a bitter smile appeared on Lu Yun's face. I got careless. I forgot that my slaughter conception would emit killing intent while I was cultivating. If the slaughter conception were only 3rd rank or 4th rank, Huang Qi's strength could easily suppress it. Once it reaches 5th rank, especially when it reaches 70% of the 5th rank. Shaking his head slightly, Lu Yun roared in his Yuan Hai, and the vast aura origin transformed into more than a dozen golden tigers, surrounding the pill medicine building and roaring constantly. About half a cup of tea later, all the coldness and killing intent were finally extinguished. Phew, Huang Qi gasped heavily. He had been cultivating for 100 years, barely raising his martial arts conception to the 4th rank level. Under the near-peak 5th rank slaughter conception, he didn't suffer much, but trying to save the entire pill medicine building seemed extremely difficult. If not for Lu Yun coming out just in time, he didn't know how long he could hold on. Elder Huang, I'm sorry, I was too absorbed in my cultivation, I didn't expect it to cause such a big impact. It's a good thing you were here, otherwise, the pill medicine building might not have been saved. Lu Yun looked at the somewhat embarrassed Huang Qi with an apologetic expression. As the master of the pill medicine building, accidentally damaging it during cultivation would become a sensational event. Fortunately, Huang Qi protected the pill medicine building. Also, it was lucky that Lu Yun didn't have enough energy value, so he came out in time. Huang Qi looked at Lu Yun resentfully, then bitter smiled. Master, I suggest you either find a good cultivation room or a place without people when you cultivate in the future. The pill medicine building can't withstand your destruction. Haha, 111 be careful next time, I'll be careful. Lu Yun said awkwardly. Elder Huang, can you arrange for someone to clean up? I will refine the remaining spirit herbs into pills. Hearing that, Huang Qi's resentment towards Lu Yun evaporated instantly. With such a master, how could the pill medicine building not prosper? With such a saint child, how could the Flying Spirit Martial Academy not grow stronger? Rest assured, Master, I will ensure that the pill medicine building will be restored to its original state and reopened for pill sales as soon as possible. Good. Lu Yun nodded slightly, his figure flashed and disappeared in front of Huang Qi. The master is becoming more and more unfathomable. Huang Qi sighed, then began to arrange for the disciples to clean up the pill medicine building. Due to the powerful impact, everything inside the pill medicine building was in chaos, some even destroyed and had to be organized. Huang Qi personally took charge of sorting out the jade vials on the crystal shelves. Thankfully, I held on to these pills with all my strength, otherwise the losses would have been enormous. Recalling the terrifying killing intent and extreme cold that had spread earlier, Huang Qi couldn't help but shudder. The alchemy room was also damaged, but not too seriously. And since there weren't many items inside, Lu Yun's aura origin moved. Some were completely destroyed, and those that weren't returned to their original places. Looking at the renewed alchemy room, Lu Yun shook his sleeves satisfactorily. Not bad, even cleaner than before. Indeed, it had become much cleaner, but Lu Yun seemed not to realize that the only things left in this huge alchemy room were an alchemy furnace and a stone platform for placing jade vials. Lu Yun didn't mind these things. In the alchemy room, the only thing that could catch his attention was the alchemy furnace. Looking at the huge alchemy furnace in front of him, Lu Yun stroked his chin and began to plan. He had a feeling that he wouldn't be able to stay in the martial academy for much longer, and he wouldn't be able to refine pills outside as well. It was not easy to find a pill furnace that could withstand the white lotus flame. Even if he could find one, the cost would not be something he was willing to bear. With that in mind, Lu Yun secretly made up his mind to take the furnace with him when he left. However, before doing so, he needed to refine all the remaining spirit herbs into pills. Time slowly passed. 3 days later, 25 more bottles of pills appeared on the stone platform, including 3 bottles of top-tier 5th-grade pills. The jade bottles emitted a crystal-clear luster, while a trace of pill fragrance wafted out from them, enveloping the entire spacious alchemy room. At this moment, Lu Yun's entire focus was on a blue scroll in his hands. The Dragon Power Pill, a 6th-grade pill, could increase one's physical strength by 10,000 gene. The first pill provided the most significant effect, the second pill's effect would be halved, and the third pill's effect would be nearly negligible. Nevertheless, a pill that could increase a martial artist's physical strength by 10,000 gene was indeed worthy of being a 6th-grade pill. After memorizing the pill recipe, Lu Yun reached out and grabbed the most extravagant and beautiful jade bottle in his hand. This was the Origin Extreme Pill, one of the 2 top-tier 5th-grade pills. Lu Yun opened the bottle, and a faint golden light emerged. The pill fragrance in the alchemy room instantly became even more intense. There were 6 pills with pill patterns inside. With Lu Yun's 6th-grade alchemy technique and his 4th-grade white lotus flame, the success rate of refining top-tier 5th-grade pills was only 60%, which showed the difficulty of refining such high-grade pills. Next, he would attempt to refine the even more challenging 6th-grade pill, the Dragon Power Pill. There was only one set of ingredients for the Dragon Power Pill. If the refinement failed due to carelessness, it would be a significant loss. To be on the safe side, Lu Yun needed to improve his alchemy technique a little further. It didn't take long for him to refine 10 Origin Extreme pills. The refinement of an ordinary Origin Extreme pill yielded 1,500 energy values. The refinement of a top-grade Origin Extreme pill yielded 2,000 energy values. After refining all 10 Origin Extreme pills, 18,000 additional energy values appeared on his panel. Energy value: 23,000 automatically increases by 8 energy values daily. Pill refining technique, grade 6, 1%. The alchemy technique for level 6 required 2,000 energy values to improve by 1%. It seemed that the current amount of energy values on the panel might not be enough, so Lu Yun refined another bottle of top-tier 5th-grade pills. Energy value: 52,000 automatically increases by 8 energy values daily. Pill refining technique, grade 6, 1%. Begin the upgrade. Energy values were rapidly consumed, and an image of a middle-aged man in gray refining pills appeared in his mind. Lu Yun focused entirely on the man, as if he had turned into the gray-clothed middle-aged man himself. About an hour later. Energy value: 32 automatically increases by 8 energy values daily. Pill refining technique, grade 6, 27%. Today's consumed energy values will be earned back tenfold or even 100-fold in the future. Lu Yun was resolute, vowing to become a diligent and dedicated alchemist in the future, earning back all the energy values spent on improving his alchemy technique. With a flip of his palm, the white lotus flame began to burn again. The refinement of the 6th-grade pill, the Dragon Power Pill, had officially begun. One day, outside the pill medicine building, The sky was filled with thundering lightning. Huang Qi stepped out of the pill medicine building upon sensing the powerful lightning arcs in the sky. He looked up to see a golden lightning bolt rapidly approaching. In the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, there was only one person capable of controlling such a level of lightning. That person was Lei Kang. Chapter 306. He Lu Departure. Elder Lei, what brings you to my pill medicine building? Huang Qi's gaze fell on the Lei Kang standing before him, as he slightly bowed his hand. In the past, Elder Huang was always busy, almost always hard at work in the alchemy room. It seems that the rumors were not true. Haha, with the presence of the boss, why should I worry? Huang Qi responded with a faint smile. Ever since Lu Yun became the boss of the pill medicine building, he had monopolized all spirit herbs above the 4th grade. Huang Qi, a 4th grade alchemist, basically had no chance to refine pills. As for those of 3rd grade and below in his status, he naturally disdained to refine them. So, he ended up being idle. Not exactly idle. He was still in charge of all the major and minor affairs of the pill medicine building. He was quite satisfied with this condition. No one visits lofty halls without a cause. You must be here to find our boss. Huang Qi laughed. Elder Lei, am not wrong, am I? Haha, you old fox. Lei Kang's expression became serious, and he bowed his hand. Indeed, I do have urgent matters to discuss with the Saint Child. Could you please notify him? The boss is currently refining pills. Allow me to report first. With that, Huang Qi went upstairs. If it were the common visitors, Huang Qi would absolutely not disturb Lu Yun. However, Lei Kang was one of the most powerful figures in the golden body realm of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. His visit to Lu Yun must be for important matters, therefore it could not be delayed. He was in possession of the token to enter the alchemy room, granting him free admission. Squeak! Just as he was about to enter, he saw the door to the alchemy room slowly opening. Elder Huang. Looking at Huang Qi, who appeared outside the alchemy room, a trace of surprise flickered in Lu Yun's eyes. He quickly blocked the other's line of sight and closed the door right away. Huang Qi did not notice Lu Yun's subtle actions and just asked with anticipation, "Boss, were you successful in refining the 6th grade pill?" Lu Yun had been refining 5th grade pills one after another recently, achieving unexpectedly high success and quality rate. Therefore, he had high hopes that Lu Yun could successfully refine the 6th grade pill. I failed. Lu Yun shook his head, his face full of regret. Huang Qi's face showed a trace of disappointment. He thought to himself, as expected, it's not so easy to refine a 6th grade pill. It seems that I was too eager. Then, Lu Yun waved his sleeve, and a flash of light followed by the appearance of more than 30 jade bottles. These are all the pills I've refined lately, including both 4th grade and 5th grade pills. Among them, one bottle contains top-quality 5th grade pills. I'll leave them all in your care. Seeing so many pill bottles, including the top-quality 5th grade pill, Huang Qi's heart felt incredibly refreshed. With these, the pill medicine building would not lack pills for some time in the future. You've worked hard, boss. I will command the disciples of the pill medicine building to continue collecting other spirit herbs. Huang Qi, trembling slightly, stowed these pills away. Seeing Huang Qi's excited state, Lu Yun couldn't help but chuckle. If he knew that I'd kept more than half of the pills for myself, as well as turning the 6th grade dragon power pill into my own energy. Thinking of this, Lu Yun shook his head slightly. After all, the pill medicine building was still making a profit. Outside of Lu Yun, very few alchemists could achieve a 50 to 60% success rate with 5th grade pills and above. Moreover, almost all of Lu Yun's pills were top quality. So, Lu Yun didn't feel guilty in the slightest. Elder Huang, for quite a while from now, I might not be in the Martial Academy. All the affairs of the pill medicine building will have to rely on you. Huang Qi solemnly nodded, then said, "By the way, boss, Elder Lei is waiting for you. He's been waiting outside for some time." "Elder Lei is looking for me?" A touch of confusion flitted through Lu Yun's eyes. To his memory, he had little dealings with this Lei Kang. Could it have anything to do with what the dean said last time? He remembered at the last Elders' Assembly in Straight Sun Hall, the dean had mentioned that he shouldn't leave the Martial Academy within 1 or 2 months. He had been waiting for almost 2 months with no news. He had been planning to discuss the matter of his departure with Yi Xingchen soon after coming out of seclusion. But now Lei Kang had come to him, unavoidably making him wonder. Seeing Lu Yun come out with Huang Qi, Lei Kang gave a faint smile. It's been several days, yet the saint child's strength has increased even further. This is indeed the fortune of our Flying Spirit Martial Academy. While speaking, he carefully watched Lu Yun, trying to discern something from his demeanor. Unfortunately, after Lu Yun's recent breakthrough, his spiritual power had greatly increased, and the realm and strength he had broken through were all under his control. His aura was concealed. Even though Lei Kang was at the peak of the Golden Body realm, if he didn't use spiritual power to carefully investigate, he couldn't discern much. Some people are precisely because you can't see clearly that they appear to be profound and unfathomable. Elder Lei flatters me. Lu Yun responded with a faint smile, then asked, "Is it the dean looking for me?" "Haha, precisely." Lei Kang laughed heartily. Lu Yun made a gesture of invitation, saying, "In that case, Elder Lei, please lead the way." "Very well, Saint Child, follow me." With those words, thunderbolt-like golden light flicked, making a whooshing sound. Where Lei Kang had been standing, only an afterimage was left. Lu Yun gave a faint smile. The purple thunderbolt crackled and Lu Yun followed along. Seeing the 2 afterimages left at the spot, Huang Qi shook his head and sighed. "Seems like something big is about to happen. But what does this have to do with me?" Seeing that not only did Lu Yun not fall behind, but was also getting closer, Lei Kang showed a touch of surprise on his face. Not only is his combat power astonishing, even his speed is so fast. Chapter 307. He Lu Departure _2 However, this is not enough. Immediately, his speed greatly increased, and he transformed into a thunderbolt disappearing into the sky. This time, he will be going out with Lu Yun, and he wanted to test Lu Yun's abilities. He had some understanding of Lu Yun's combat power beforehand. His strength was astonishing, surpassing the limit of the late Golden Body realm. However, strength does not equate to actual power. The peak fighters of the Golden Body realm are comprehensive in strength, speed, and martial arts conception. Those who are close to the Rune Seed realm are even more scary in terms of strength, and relying solely on strength would lead to a miserable defeat. After some time, Lei Kang looked back again. A pair of eyes flashing like thunder showed a stunned expression. Lu Yun was closely following him, and what's more, his face bore a relaxed look. Such powerful strength and speed, if his martial arts conception, Lei Kang dared not continue his line of thought. The combat power of the late Origin Fluid realm was comparable to the peak of the Golden Body realm? He found it hard to believe, but deep down he had to accept the reality. Hovering above the Straight Sun Hall was a black boat. They arrived at the Straight Sun Hall. Given their status, they do not need to report and can enter directly. Yi Xingchen was there at the moment, along with several Golden Body Realm elders and over a dozen academy students. 7 of them were veteran students, all in the Origin Fluid realm. The other 3 were in the Transforming Origin realm. Lu Yun recognized them as Bai Haoxuan, Gu Yuan, and Bai Li. What caught Lu Yun's attention was another person in the hall. This person, like Yi Xingchen, had an indeterminable depth of power. "Greetings to the dean." Lu Yun bowed. All of a sudden, all eyes in the hall turned towards him. Yi Xingchen replied with a mild smile, "I just informed Lei Kang to fetch you, didn't expect you to arrive that fast. Do you need something, Dean?" Lu Yun's face remained unchanged, while he quietly observed the middle-aged man standing next to Yi Xingchen. At this moment, Yi Xingchen was like an old willow tree on the verge of death, and the middle-aged man was like a midday sun rising high in the sky. However, the dying willow seemed to emit an endless vitality. As Lu Yun examined the middle-aged man, the man was also examining Lu Yun, his tranquil eyes rippling. Instead of answering Lu Yun directly, Yi Xingchen turned to the middle-aged man beside him and introduced, "Lu Yun, this is Elder He Lu from the Central Province Distant Martial School." Then he pointed at Lu Yun. "This is my Martial Academy's saint child, Lu Yun." Upon hearing these words, He Lu looked genuinely surprised. Looking at Lu Yun, his gaze subtly changed. "So you are Lu Yun. Upon setting foot in Ling Province, I have heard more than once about a saint child from the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Seeing you now, you truly stand out from the crowd. Elder, he is too kind." Lu Yun respectfully saluted. Although the Origin Martial Academy is the head office of all academies in Morijin, there is no actual subordination between them. As the saint child of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, his status is comparable to that of the other party. Given his status, there was no need for Lu Yun to show respect, just maintain a superficial courtesy. Unfortunately, this world values martial arts. Even within the Morijin Imperial Court, status and identity are based on strength. As an elder of the Martial Academy, He Lu's strength and field vision far exceed that of the average Rune Seed realm. At his young age, Lu Yun had such a deep foundation, even compared to those top-ranking saint children from Central Province. He was not inferior in any way. After the two got to know each other, Yi Xingchen said, "The Imperial Court is preparing to confront Hundred Sect. Demon Suppression Army is leading. The martial academies of each county in the 13 provinces need to send strong fighters and students as reinforcements. After some consideration, I decided to have you, Lu Yun, lead the Flying Spirit Martial Academy team, with Elder Lei assisting. What do you think, Lu Yun?" Upon hearing these words, He Lu was absolutely shocked. With his strength, he could easily see that Lei Kang had reached the ultimate limit of the Golden Body Realm, extremely close to the Rune Seed Realm. On the other hand, Lu Yun, a talented monster, showed great progress and strong combat power, but compared to Lei Kang, who was extremely close to the Rune Seed Realm, he was far behind. Despite this, the Flying Spirit Martial Academy team was to be led by Lu Yun, with Lei Kang assisting. This detail in arrangements prompted He Lu to take another careful look at Lu Yun. Could it be that I have overlooked something special about this Lu Yun? Although Lu Yun was the saint child of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy with a high status, in special situations, status and identity are not as important as strength. The battle with Hundred Sect was a major crisis. Without absolute strength, it is difficult to guarantee the safety of a team. Yi Xingchen of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy was a sly fellow, quite infamous even in Central Province. This arrangement meant either Lu Yun had something special that went unseen or there was something more to it. A war with Hundred Sect? Lu Yun did not immediately reply but asked for more details. When will we set off? Will it be a total war or a local war? How will each martial academy join? What benefits will our martial academy gain if we win? Being the saint child, Lu Yun would unconsciously act in the best interests of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Moreover, he did not know much about Hundred Sect. He needed to have a general understanding first. Chapter 308. He Lu, Departure S. Just as Yi Xingchen was about to speak, he was stopped by He Lu. "President Yi, let me explain this." He then looked around at everyone in the hall, finally stopping on Lu Yun and smiling faintly. "Actually, I would have told you the specifics even if you didn't ask. The purpose of this war with the Hundred Sect is to deter them, preventing them from wantonly gaining power in Morijin and openly colluding with Demon Beast. So even if it's not an all-out war, we have to make them tremble in fear. This time, the demon suppression army will take the lead, directly restraining the 100 sect's main force, while our martial academies will serve as auxiliaries, responsible for ambushes and containment. If your contributions in this war are significant, not only will you be rewarded, but your respective academies will also receive rewards from the royal court, including but not limited to spirit veins, pills, cultivation techniques, and so on. Lu Yun silently nodded. He then asked, "What is the strength of the 100 sect?" The 100 sect is like a centipede that never dies, all because of their deep foundations. Some of their sects even have formidable heavenly human realm experts. Heavenly human realm? Upon hearing this, everyone in the hall furrowed their brows. Although they had never seen a heavenly human realm expert, they could still imagine one. Such a powerhouse could easily tear through the void and annihilate a rune seed realm cultivator as if squashing an insect. In that case, won't our entire army be easily annihilated without even knowing what the enemy looks like? Lu Yun voiced his biggest concern. Haha, there aren't that many heavenly human realm experts, and they won't take action easily. Lu shook his head and laughed. Furthermore, the 100 sect has more than just heavenly human realm powerhouses, Morijin has even more. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun's heart became more resolute. If no heavenly human realm experts took action, it's much better as safety would be significantly improved. Otherwise, even his instant horizon ability would be useless against such legendary powerhouses. Alright, if you have no other questions, then follow me now. Everyone nodded slightly at his words. At this moment, Yi Xingchen suddenly looked at Lu Yun and said, "Lu Yun, although the Flying Spirit Martial Academy has you as its main force, if there are special circumstances, consult with Lei Kang. President, you can rest assured." Lu Yun nodded solemnly. Yi Xingchen slightly smiled, then his gaze fell on Gu Yuan. "You are my last disciple. I don't expect you to understand the world, but I hope you can go through this war, experience hardship, and find your own path." Gu Yuan's face showed determination. Disciple won't let master's expectations down. Yi Xingchen's gaze then fell on by Haoshuan, Bailey Yi, and the other Martial Academy disciples. You are all the geniuses and pride of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, as well as its future. Through this mission, I hope you can all undergo transformation and progress. Finally, I'll be waiting for your return. President, take care. Upon leaving the Straight Sun Hall, Lei Kang, Lu Yun, and all the elders and disciples of Flying Spirit Martial Academy followed Lu onto the black boat. Although this black boat was not as big as the Flying Spirit Martial Academies, it was faster and quickly flew out of the Academy's grounds. Soon after, fleets of rolling hills passed by their eyes, and they quickly left the Spirit Martial Prefecture border. On the other side, Huang Qi felt that his burden had become much heavier since Lu Yun left. He went to the alchemy room to create pills to alleviate some of his future pressure. But when he opened the door to the alchemy room, he was dumbfounded. A large, empty alchemy room had been cleaned so neatly that only a desolate stone platform remained. Chapter 309 Golden Core Realm Powerhouse, Demon Extermination Command. 3 days later, the Black Boat left Ling Province. At the East Sun Grand Canyon, the temporary station of the Demon Suppression Academy. One black boat after another floated in the sky, creating an incredibly spectacular scene that made the sky feel heavy and overcast. Especially when seeing the gigantic black boat at the top, Lu Yun felt a strong sense of suffocation. The aura emanating from it seemed like it could devour his entire spirit at any moment. Seeing Lu Yun's changed expression, Lu asked curiously, "Your face looks terrible. What's wrong?" "I noticed that the black boat in the deepest part of the sky is magnificent, so I took a glance at it. I didn't expect it to nearly swallow my spirit. What's the reason for this?" "I hope Elder he can clear my confusion," Lu Yun said seriously. Hearing this, Lu wasn't surprised and just smiled faintly. "We are currently riding a superior profound boat, and that one over there is a superior spirit boat. It's perfectly normal for your spirit to be devoured when you tried to probe it. Superior spirit boat. Lu Yun's expression changed dramatically. He knew about spirit boats. Above black boats were treasure boats, and above treasure boats were spirit boat. He had never even seen a treasure boat before, and now he saw a spirit boat, a superior spirit boat no less. A superior spirit boat, even a strong heavenly human realm expert can't damage it. And there are 10 such superior spirit boats in the demon suppression army. That's the real power of Morijin, He Lu said, revealing a smile on his face. This was a genuine joy emanating from He Lu's heart for Morijin's strength. After some conversation, Lu Yun learned from He Lu that the troops stationed in the East Sun Grand Canyon were just one part of the Demon Suppression Army, known as the Far Suppression Legion. This superior spirit boat also served as the Far Suppression battleship, capable of accommodating 100,000 Demon Suppression Army soldiers. At the same time, the various martial academies of the 36 prefectures in Ling Province were responsible for assisting the Far Suppression Legion. When the Spirit Martial Prefectures team arrived, all the teams from the other 35 prefectures were already there. In addition, many alchemists from the Alchemist Alliance were also gathered here. The Far Suppression Legion, the teams of 36 prefecture martial academies, and the alchemists from Ling Province's Alchemist Alliance were all located in different areas. Under He Lu's guidance, Lu Yun and the others went straight to the area where the Martial Academy's teams were gathered. Among the Martial Academy disciples, Lu Yun hardly knew anyone, let alone the elders from other academies. In fact, each Martial Academy's disciples were independent and rarely interacted with the others unless they had fought side by side before. So when Lu Yun arrived, someone in the crowd called his name. Following the sound, he saw Lu Wuhan, Liang Shaoan, and Zhang Kuang all smiling at him. Lu Yun was quite surprised. He shared a great affinity with these people, especially Liang Shaoan, as they had just fought side by side outside the great wilderness major city not long ago. After digesting the results from that battle, Liang Shaoan had already advanced to the late stage of the transforming origin realm. Both Lu Wuhan and Zhang Kuang were not far behind, as their auras indicated they were close to reaching the late stage of the transforming origin realm as well. Of course, their cultivation levels in the transforming origin realm would be considered the weakest among the Martial Academy's teams. In view of this, Lu Yun didn't find it strange. This battle was simply an exercise for the Martial Academy's disciples. Moreover, each academy had several powerful Golden Body Realm elders as escorts. In Morijin, Golden Body Realm experts were considered top-tier fighters, even among the 100 sects. The term 100 sect was just a general term, and there were many weaker sects within. Among these sects, those in the Golden Body Realm were the most formidable fighters. In other words, people like Bailey Yi and Liang Shaoan would be considered the most talented disciples in some of the weaker sects among the 100 sects. As for the other Martial Academy's disciples, they were in the Origin Fluid Realm. Even more so, Lu Yun sensed quite a few Golden Body Realm experts among them. Among them, the auras emanating from a few individuals even made Lu Yun feel apprehensive. To know that Lu Yun's current slaughter conception had already been raised to 70% of the 5th rank. In overall strength, he could even rival some of the Golden Body Realm peak experts. However, in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, not many elders were in the peak of the Golden Body Realm. But now, among the many Martial Academy disciples, Lu Yun had discovered heavenly pride figures of this caliber. Looking in the direction of those auras, he saw that their faces appeared relatively young, looking to be around 20 years old. Those must be the most outstanding heavenly pride figures of Ling Province. Upon breaking through to the Golden Body Realm, one would immediately have a lifespan of 200 years. For those at the peak of the Golden Body Realm, their lifespan would be 300 years. Even if they were in their 40s or 50s, they could maintain their appearance to look like they were in their 20s. However, judging from their abundant vitality and subtle aura of invincibility, these young men's actual ages were most likely similar to their external appearance. In summary, through this gathering, Lu Yun truly understood the difference between the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and other martial academies. Before Lu Yun had risen to prominence, the strongest in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy were Qin Wuming and Gongliang Jin. Both had good talent and abilities, and their overall strength could compete with those in the late Golden Body realm. However, both were at least 30 years old. 5 years ago, their cultivation level was only at the peak of the Origin Fluid realm. Comparing all these factors, the gap between them was enormous. In addition, Lu Yun also roughly observed the strength of the Siders from other academies. Like Lei Kang, there were 7 others who had reached the limit of the Golden Body realm. Besides them, there were 3 more auras that Lu Yun couldn't discern their depths even with his perception. Chapter 310. Golden Core Realm Strongman, Demon Removal Order _2. The only explanation is that these 3 people are not in the Golden Body realm. Seeing the arrival of the team from Flying Spirit Martial Academy, many Academy elders and disciples showed expressions of surprise. Their gazes all fell on He Lu and Lu Yun. At this moment, Lu Yun and He Lu were walking side by side at the front of their team. Most of them didn't know who Lu Yun was, but they knew who He Lu was, an elder from Origin Martial Academy and a powerful figure above the Golden Body realm. How could such a scene not shock them? I heard that Flying Spirit Martial Academy has a saint child named Lu Yun, who has an exceptional talent and possessed Golden Body realm combat strength when he reached the transforming Origin realm. Could that young man be Lu Yun? Among the 36 martial academies in Ling Province, Flying Spirit Martial Academy is the second to have a saint child. I just don't know if the other party is worthy of their reputation. To be able to walk side by side with Elder He Lu, he must indeed have something special. Moreover, Elder He Lu personally went to Flying Spirit Martial Academy to meet our Ling Province's newest rising heavenly pride. Some people in the martial academies whispered and discussed, their eyes filled with curiosity. Those 5 heavenly prides that made Lu Yun feel a bit apprehensive also looked deeply at Lu Yun, their eyes full of fighting intent. No wonder, with their talents and strength, they were not qualified to become the Martial Academy's saint child. Seeing Lu Yun now, it was impossible for them not to have any other thoughts in their hearts. As time passed, Lu Yun noticed more black boats heading towards the East Sun Grand Canyon. In Lu Yun's perception, these people had varying levels of cultivation, from transforming Origin realm to Golden Body realm. Compared to the teams of various martial academies, most of these martial artists' auras were not as concentrated. These people are martial artists from various parts of Ling Province. Some are from powerful families, and some are independent martial cultivators. They cannot adapt to the discipline of the Demon Suppression Army, so they may be integrated into our martial academy teams. Lei Kang said indifferently. As expected, it didn't take long for those martial artists to follow a powerful person towards the martial academy area. Seeing this, the pupils of various martial academies all showed disdain. Most academy disciples looked down on independent martial cultivators. This was a common phenomenon in Morijin, not limited to Ling Province. Lu Yun didn't care about that. Independent martial cultivators might not practice as powerful cultivation techniques as academy disciples, but their survival skills could be unknown. At this moment, a terrifying aura came from the direction of the far suppression battleship, as if a burning sun was falling from the sky. Everyone sensed it and looked up. This figure was shrouded in golden light, and ordinary Origin Fluid and Golden Body realm martial artists couldn't see their face clearly. The transforming Origin realm martial artists could only vaguely see the outline of a golden sun. He Lu introduced them to the martial artists. He is one of our Origin Martial Academy's supreme elders, Sima Chongkong, a Golden Core Realm True Master. He's responsible for leading Ling Province martial academies to work with the Far Suppression Legion in this battle. Upon hearing this, everyone quickly bowed their heads and greeted him solemnly. "Greetings, Master Chongkong. You may rise." The majestic voice fell, and a burst of brilliant golden light shone in the sky. Following the appearance of this golden sun-like figure, more powerful auras arrived quickly. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. With the appearance of each aura, dense golden runes flashed, causing the void to shake violently, and making everyone tremble in their hearts. At least peak rune seed realm experts. Watching the sudden appearance of 3 golden figures in the sky, Lei Kang's eyes were filled with shock. He was only 1 step away from the rune seed realm, but he could barely guess the strength of these 9 powerful figures. Golden Body Realm martial artists, as long as they have a strong fleshly foundation and inscribe the heavenly Tao laws as runes, can successfully condense the rune seeds and undergo thunder tribulation to advance to the rune seed realm. Now, he had already inscribed enough runes, but he had always been unable to condense the rune seeds. Seeing these powerful rune seed realm experts, Lei Kang couldn't help feeling an inexplicable anticipation, looking forward to the day when he condensed rune seeds and successfully crossed the tribulation. After the arrival of these 3 peak rune seed realm experts, another 15 powerful auras descended. Their appearances were much more normal. However, each of them had golden runes on their bodies, and their powerful auras made the light to twist slightly. The true master, who was completely enveloped in golden light, slowly spoke from the highest point. "Everyone, our Morijin will soon be officially at war with the 100 sects. I'm sure you all understand very well that there is no room for compromise between us and the 100 sects. We must either wipe them out and eliminate Morijin's hidden dangers, or be held back by them, preventing Morijin from driving out the demon beasts and expand the territory for the human race. You all are from martial academies and are also Morijin martial artists, as well as part of the human race. In the upcoming battle, I hope you can all be victorious." His voice rang out like a giant bell, echoing through the sky and booming in everyone's ears. Lu Yun stood up straight, looking up to see the outline of this powerful individual. Unfortunately, he couldn't see through the golden light from the beginning to the end. Even the other 3 peak rune seed realm experts, he could barely see their golden runes full of law patterns. It seems that the gap between the golden body realm and the rune seed realm is much larger than the gap between the origin fluid realm and the golden body realm. Chapter 311. Golden Core Realm Strongman Demon Extermination Token _3 Lu Yun carefully analyzed his thoughts, deciding that in the upcoming battles, if he encountered a rune seed realm expert, he must avoid confronting them head-on. To motivate everyone's enthusiasm for battle, this battle will be based on Demon Extermination Point. Anyone who accumulates 10,000 points can gain an opportunity to enter the Flood Dragon Pool, regardless of your cultivation or talent. Whenever you have time available, you may enter. As soon as these words fell, regardless of whether they were Martial Academy disciples or Golden Body Realm Siders, or even independent cultivators, their expressions were full of excitement. The Flood Dragon Pool was an unparalleled treasure land for refining the body. As long as one soaked in it for an hour, there would be a leap of improvement in the physique, and strength could even increase by more than 10,000 pounds. The stronger the physique of a Golden Body Realm martial artist, the more runes they could engrave, the higher the level of the condensed rune seeds, and the greater their potential. However, it was not easy to enter the Flood Dragon Pool. It was not only about talent and strength, but also about luck and chance. Under normal circumstances, the Flood Dragon Pool would open once every 50 years. Even if you have an exceptional talent and strong background, you still couldn't enter. Now, Master Changkong's words undoubtedly gave the Martial Academy elders and disciples hope, the hope of entering the Flood Dragon Pool. Besides, before the end of the battle, the acquired treasures will belong solely to you, and they do not have to be handed over. Upon hearing this, everyone felt even more excited. Very few people could gather 10,000 demon extermination points. Most of them were aiming for spoils of war. Especially for independent cultivators. Just by killing 100 sect martial artists, they could, with good luck, acquire a decent pill or even a powerful cultivation technique. This was the main reason they took the risk to join the battle against the 100 sect. Lu Yun stood by, watching coldly. In his opinion, killing enemies and collecting spoils of war were extremely normal things to do. Right after that, he saw countless golden lights flooding the sky like shooting stars, flying towards the martial academy area and landing on every martial artist. As the golden light approached, Lu Yun did not try to block it, concentrating his mind instead to see what the golden light was. The golden light got closer and closer. When it was about to touch him, he finally saw its true appearance. It was a golden rune, on which there were mysterious law patterns. As it touched his body, it directly entered it. Soon, a burst of information rushed into his mind. Killing an early-stage transforming origin realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 1 demon extermination point. Killing a mid-stage transforming origin realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 2 demon extermination point. Killing a late-stage transforming origin realm 100 sect martial artist would cam you 5 demon extermination point. Killing a peak transforming origin realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 10 demon extermination point. Killing an early-stage origin fluid realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 20 demon extermination point. Killing a peak origin fluid realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 200 demon extermination point. Killing a peak golden body realm 100 sect martial artist would earn you 3,200 demon extermination point. After digesting the information in his mind, all the martial artists found an extra token in their hands. Demon Extermination Token. This Demon Extermination Token has established a connection with the law rune that has just entered your bodies. As long as you kill 100 sect martial artists below the Golden Core realm, the token will record your achievement. When the war is over, you can use the Demon Extermination Token to exchange the resources you need, including the chance to enter the Flood Dragon Pool. In addition, you can exchange Demon Extermination points with each other in private, but you must not violate the principle of equality and willingness. If there are any violations, it will not be pardoned. Touching the Demon Extermination Token in his hand, Lu Yun couldn't help but marvel at the incredible abilities of Golden Core Realm Expert. At the same time, a great fear arose in his heart. If this Golden Core Realm Expert was an enemy, could he resist? Absolutely not. My strength is still insufficient. In this war, I must ensure that I acquire enough demon extermination points while keeping a low profile. As soon as he thought this, Lu Yun shook his head and chuckled bitterly. Could he really stay Loki? Being at the late stage of Origin Fluid Realm and being able to kill Golden Body Realm experts, it was impossible not to attract the attention of the enemy. However, if he couldn't even kill Golden Body Realm experts, how could he obtain more demon extermination points, let alone spoils of war? I have the Instant Horizon technique. As long as the opponent doesn't seal the space in an instant, I can escape in a split second. Moreover, I also have the Purple-Black Star Robe, which can greatly weaken the attack of Rune Seed Realm experts. As long as I am not targeted by Golden Core Realm experts, I have a great chance of escaping. And Golden Core Realm experts are the true bosses who shouldn't notice me on the battlefield. Thinking of this, the fear in Lu Yun's heart gradually eased. Before the arrival of the Spirit Martial Prefecture team, the teams from the other prefectures' martial academies had already arrived. Chapter 3:12. Boundless Sea Region. The battleship tore through the sky, leaving ripples in the void as it passed by. The auxiliary warships were at the forefront, all of them treasure boats, with many martial artists in the Golden Body Realm and Rune Seed Realm on board. The Far Suppression battleship was situated at the highest point in the deep sky, covering half of the horizon. Its majestic and powerful momentum was awe-inspiring. Various martial academies and independent martial cultivators gathered on another treasure boat. Lu Yun looked at the rapidly passing land beneath his feet, his eyes calm and unrippled. Going to war with the 100 sects would set off a chain reaction, and it definitely wouldn't end after just a few battles. They had to be prepared for long-term fighting. For example, the Far Suppression Legion was dealing with the White Lotus sect this time. The White Lotus sect was one of the more powerful sects among the 100 sects, with numerous subordinate sects and powers under it. These affiliated sects and forces had both strong and weak members. When scattered, they posed little threat. But once gathered, they became an enormous force. Therefore, the most powerful White Lotus sect was left for the Far Suppression Legion to handle. As for the elders and disciples of the martial academies, as well as independent martial cultivators, they were responsible for cutting off the powers of the affiliated sects of the White Lotus sect. In over 800 years since Morijin was established, it has grown to such a scale. The 100 sects have an even deeper foundation, having gone through a baptism of fire and operating for so many years in the great wilderness. I'm afraid their strength is far more complex than we thought. Lu Yun felt a sense of awe in his heart. As for the White Lotus sect, he had some dealings with them before, but they were all peripheral members. The only time he encountered them, he had narrowly escaped death. So in his heart, Lu Yun still held great fear for the White Lotus sect despite the fact that his strength had grown significantly since then. As they ventured deeper into the great wilderness, the battleship turned south. To the west was the boundless territory, with endless mountain ranges, dense forests, and vast plains. Heavenly treasures were everywhere. However, countless demon beasts lurked, and dangers abounded. Even the demon-slaying army couldn't always advance unimpeded. To the south was the dwelling place of the 100 sects after being expelled from the central province, the Boundless Sea region. This is your first time going to the Boundless Sea region, right, Saint Child? A gentle voice came from behind. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun turned his head to look at the speaker, a young man who looked about 25 or 26 years old. His cultivation was at the peak of the Origin Fluid Realm, not far from the Golden Body Realm. What caught Lu Yun's interest was the young man's refined and powerful aura, revealing that his actual combat power was not as simple as his surface realm portrayed. However, Lu Yun wasn't surprised by this. After all, the Flying Spirit Martial Academy had a foundation of several hundred years, and it was natural to have highly talented individuals like this young man. Searching through his memories, Lu Yun realized that he didn't know the young man. He had only caught a glimpse of him in the Straight Sun Hall before they had gathered. May I ask which senior brother this is? I am Chiogyun. In front of the Saint Child, I dare not call myself a senior brother. Chiogyun said with a faint smile. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun smiled lightly. So it's senior brother Chio. Lu Yun had heard of Chiogyun's name and even seen it on the myriad phenomena Jade Wall. Chiogyun's ranking was not much lower than that of Qin Wuming. However, after Lu Yun entered the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Chiogyun had been traveling outside. What puzzled him though was that he seemed to have no connection with Chiogyun, and it was unexpected that he would suddenly strike up a conversation with him now. When I returned to the Martial Academy, I heard about your victory over Qin Wuming and Gongliang Jin, and how you possess strength comparable to the late stage of the Golden Body Realm. A martial artist who can surpass one realm is considered a genius. Surpassing 2 realms makes one a heavenly pride. Surpassing 3 realms makes one a monstrous talent. You, Saint Child, have not only surpassed 3 realms but also one major realm. Even the monstrous talents in the central province at your realm can't outshine you. Hearing this, Lu Yun remained indifferent, sensing that Chiogyun had more to say. Seeing Lu Yun's expression, Chiao Guiyun continued, with your talent and strength, given some time, you will surely become a true master of the heavenly realm or even higher. Every true master or celestial human has a number of powerful followers and forces under them. Though I am not very talented, I have some experience and gift. If you don't mind, Saint Child, I would like to become your follower. Lu Yun raised an eyebrow. Becoming someone else's follower essentially meant acknowledging that person as one's lord. And despite Chiao Guiyun's prestigious status as a talented martial artist from the academy, he was willing to lower himself and become Lu Yun's follower. It had to be said, his sincerity was deep-rooted. However, Lu Yun had no intention of establishing a power base and had never considered recruiting followers. Thank you for your kind words, Senior Brother Chiao, but there's no need to become my follower. Lu Yun shook his head slightly, rejecting Chiao Guiyun's proposal. He could see that Chiao Guiyun's talent and strength were not weak. Among the numerous disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy he had seen, only Qin Wuming and Gongliang Jin could surpass Chiao Guiyun. However, that was far from sufficient to convince Lu Yun to accept him as a follower. Followers should at least be able to keep up with his pace and eventually provide assistance, rather than hold him back. Moreover, he truly had no interest in that side of things, especially after coming out of the 4th floor of the book collection pavilion. In the end, Morijin was not a place where he intended to stay for long. Simply put, Lu Yun just didn't think highly enough of the talents and strength of the people in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Even Gu Yuan, with his level 8 innate talent, would be unable to keep up with his pace. Having been rejected after offering to become a follower, Chiao Guiyun's face showed a hint of disappointment. He not only possessed noteworthy talent and strength, but also had a grasp of some Qi observation technique. Chapter 313 Boundless Sea Region. In his eyes, the destiny on Lu Yun's body was thick, almost becoming as powerful as a flood dragon. Most importantly, that elusive destiny seemed to be constantly improving, as if it could transform into a flood dragon at any moment. Today's flood dragon might just be a true dragon tomorrow. Staying close to such a monster not only increased one's blessings but also promised immeasurable prospects in the future. However, just as he was about to speak, he was immediately rejected by the other party, and it would be strange if he wasn't disappointed. Senior Brother Chiao, rest assured, as long as I am still the Martial Academy's Saint Child, I will do my best to protect the safety of the Martial Academy's disciples. These words were meant for Chiao Guiyun as well as for the other disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. This time, he was not only a disciple of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy but also the leader of the group, and he had the responsibility to ensure everyone's safety. Everyone felt warmed in their hearts upon hearing these words. Lei Kang and several other Martial Academy elders standing nearby nodded slightly. It was important for a saint child to have a strong talent and abilities, but it was also important to be able to shoulder responsibilities. If they only enjoyed the power of a saint child but were unwilling to shoulder corresponding responsibilities and obligations, they would not be of much help to the Flying Spirit Martial Academy even if they grew up. Senior Brother Chiao, do you know much about the Boundless Sea region? Although he had rejected the other party's proposal, Lu Yun still remembered the content of their previous conversation. Regarding the Boundless Sea region, I have only heard some information. Dugu Yun pondered for a moment. The Boundless Sea region is divided into the Inner Sea region, Outer Sea region, and Deep Sea region. The Inner Sea region is occupied by the 100 sects, mainly consisting of the Red Moon Demon sect, Heavenly Sword sect, and Green Cloud sect. After hundreds of years of development, the Inner Sea region gradually took on the appearance of a human habitat. However, due to a small population base, fewer talents were born, so the 100 sects often ventured deeper into the Morijin to plunder people and secretly search for children with exceptional innate talents. The Outer Sea region, on the other hand, is ruled by sea beasts, inhabited by countless sea clan members. Among them are powerful demons that can easily leave the sea. Speaking in terms of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi, the boundless sea region is no worse than the Morrigan, even richer, and its area is much larger. Just a single inner sea region is not smaller than the 9 provinces. The outer sea region is essentially boundless and inhabited by countless different species of sea beasts. If it weren't for the Sea Clan being unable to leave the ocean for long periods, the 100 sects would have no foothold in the inner sea region. As for the deep sea region, it is an unknown area, said to be shrouded by dense fog all year round, and even the Sea Clan dare not trespass easily. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun was astonished. He had only heard about the 100 sects beyond the domain, but he didn't know exactly where they were or any information about them in the book collection pavilion. It wasn't until he joined the Demon Suppression Army that he learned about the Boundless Sea region. Now, he learns from Chioguyun that the Boundless Sea region is divided into Inner Sea, Outer Sea, and Deep Sea regions. Lu Yun couldn't help but marvel at the vastness of the world. The Ling province alone gave him a sense of endless vastness. There are 12 provinces in the Morrigan, covering an even wider area, needless to say. However, unexpectedly, to the south of Morrigan, there is the Boundless Sea region. Just one inner sea region is almost as vast as the Morrigan. How big must the outer sea region and that mysterious deep sea region be? Lu Yun believed that the Boundless Sea region might be no smaller than the Great Wilderness, and perhaps even larger still. In any case, whether it is the Great Wilderness or the Boundless Sea region, it is an unknown area for the Morrigan, which needs to be explored and expanded gradually. However, the main focus of Morrigan's expansion is now the Great Wilderness. This war against the 100 sects may not be without the intention of reaching out to the Boundless Sea region. Senior Brother Chio, what do you know about the Black Mountain sect? The Black Mountain sect will be their next target for attack. However, as to the strength of the Black Mountain sect within the 100 sects, he was completely clueless. As a responsible person, one does not need to know the enemy thoroughly, but at least a basic understanding of the enemy is required. This is also what Lu Yun is currently working hard on. Chioguyun shook his head. Saint Child, you think too highly of me. It's also my first time in the Boundless Sea region. As for the 100 sect, I only know about the most top-notch ones. The Black Mountain sect is just a subordinate force of the White Lotus sect, and there is very little literature on it. I do know a bit about Black Mountain sect. At this moment, a young man in black clothes walked over. Upon turning their heads, Lu Yun and Chioguyun saw a young man in black clothing. The man seemed young in appearance, but there was an air of vicissitude about him, as if he had experienced a lot. Moreover, what caught Lu Yun's attention was that this person's cultivation was not weak. Although he was an independent martial cultivator, his foundation was extremely deep, like a profound mountain, making it difficult to see his true depth. Greetings, Saint Child Lu Yun from independent martial artist Zhuachuya. This young man, also known as Zhuachuya, bowed slightly towards Lu Yun. Brother Zhua, no need to be so polite. You are not a disciple of my academy, so you can just call me by my name. Lu Yun bowed back. Generally, independent martial artists would feel inferior to martial academy disciples when facing them. However, Lu Yun did not see the usual sense of inferiority in Zhuachuya like other independent martial artists. He appeared confident and calm even when facing Lu Yun, the Saint Child of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, and coupled with his impressive strength, Lu Yun found him quite interesting. Brother Zhua, could you tell me more about the situation of Black Mountain sect? Zhuachuya nodded. The history of Black Mountain sect is quite ancient. It was once a powerful existence among the 100 sects. However, after a great battle which resulted in the sect's high-ranking members falling, the sect declined. Late on, Black Mountain sect was expelled from the 9 states along with the 100 sect, taking roots in the near sea area. But without powerful experts to safeguard it, It was difficult to preserve the sect's legacy, especially in the boundless sea region where sea beasts are rampant. Any slight carelessness could lead to the extinction of the sect. In order to avoid the crisis of extermination and survive between sea beasts, the Morrijin, and various sects, Black Mountain sect sought refuge in the White Lotus sect. Up until now, although hundreds of years have passed and Black Mountain sect has not returned to its former glory, it has regained certain strength. There are 2 half-step rune seed realm experts in the sect, and numerous gold body realm experts. In addition to its background, its overall strength is enough to rank among the top 10 of the White Lotus sect's many subordinate forces. His face became serious when he mentioned the half-step rune seed realm. The half-step rune seed realm is when one has condensed a rune seed but has not yet undergone a tribulation. Even so, the strength of half-step rune seed realm experts is far more terrifying than that of gold body realm peak experts. From Zhuo Qiwai's words, Lu Yun finally had a general understanding of the Black Mountain sect. 2 half-step rune seed realm experts and numerous gold body realm experts. On their boat, there was 1 rune seed realm, 3 gold body realm peak experts, over 20 gold body realm experts, and hundreds of origin fluid realm and transforming origin realm cultivators. With such a huge force, it seemed quite easy to wipe out the Black Mountain sect. After Zhuo Qiuya left, Qiuguan murmured, "I didn't expect to meet him here." "You know him?" Lu Yun asked curiously. After all, Qiuguan was one of the top heavenly prides of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, achieving the peak of Origin Fluid Realm at a young age, and his true battle strength was comparable to the Gold Body Realm. Such Martial Academy heavenly prides usually had a natural sense of superiority in front of independent martial artists. But Qiuguan's expression was more of shock. "Zhuo Qiuya, he is the most legendary young heavenly pride among the independent martial artists in Ling Province. He is now only 28 years old and was unknown before the age of 25. It wasn't until the past 3 years that he gained fame, and it happened overnight." Qiuguan spoke slowly, with a mixture of admiration and jealousy in his eyes. Although he was a heavenly pride of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, he couldn't help but feel inferior in front of Zhuo Qiuya, an outstanding man among the independent martial artists. He didn't even feel qualified to look at him as an equal. Lu Yun was also somewhat surprised. This Zhuo Qiuya was not simple at all. Compared to martial academy disciples, independent martial artists were undoubtedly more numerous. For Zhuo Qiuya to reach the top among the many independent martial artists, he certainly had the qualifications to look down on ordinary martial academy heavenly pride. Chapter 3:14 Black Mountain Sect's decision. Within a majestic hall of the Black Mountain Sect, many terrifyingly powerful figures stood silently. Among them, a Golden Body Realm expert stepped forward and raised his fist. "Sect Master, the Demon Suppression Army is now attacking in large numbers, and the White Lotus Sect is bearing the brunt of it. As their subordinate force, we will inevitably be affected. In this crisis of survival, what should our Black Mountain Sect do?" After he finished speaking, the atmosphere around the Black Mountain Sect Master, who was surrounded by golden runes and exuded a terrifying aura, was calm and indifferent. "The Demon Suppression Army is coming with great momentum and launching attacks on multiple fronts. It won't be easy for them to take down the White Lotus Sect. Our main decision today is whether to remain neutral or support the White Lotus Sect. Whether it's the White Lotus Sect or the Demon Suppression Army, both are massive forces. If the Black Mountain Sect does not handle the situation properly, they would suffer severe losses or even face complete destruction, and their inheritance would be severed. They must be extremely cautious. Sect Master, the Demon Suppression Army is now coming with overwhelming momentum. Even if the White Lotus Sect is still very powerful, I'm afraid they will not be able to resist. Our Black Mountain Sect has suffered severe losses before, almost severing our inheritance. Now we have just recovered half of our strength. If we exhaust it again here, am afraid it will be impossible for us to rise again. I think we should hold our troops for now, wait for the fate of the White Lotus sect after the first wave of attacks from the Demon Suppression Army, and then decide whether to support them or not. If even the White Lotus sect cannot withstand the onslaught, then we should consider relocating our sect. The intention of this Golden Body Realm Elder was very clear. He wanted to remain passive and watch the situation unfold. If the Demon Suppression Army is just a paper tiger, he will firmly stand by the White Lotus sect. If the White Lotus sect cannot resist, then the Black Mountain sect can only abandon their sect. As his words fell, many powerful figures in the hall changed their expressions. Apparently, they were all somewhat tempted by this proposal. None of them dared, as they were afraid of Morijin and even more of the Demon Suppression Army. The Demon Suppression Army, with their weapons pointed, was invincible in battle. Since 800 years ago, when the Yuan Emperor slaughtered many sects and severed their inheritances, the 100 sects were forced to leave the 9 provinces and relocate to the coastal areas. Afterward, the Demon Suppression Army continued their cleansing, and many sects were destroyed. The ferocity of the Demon Suppression Army was awe-inspiring among the 100 sects, especially for these subordinate forces, who were reluctant to confront them easily. However, they did not speak up, but instead turned their eyes towards the figure above them. Apart from the Supreme Elder, the only one who could make a final decision was their sect master. Even if they talked too much, it wouldn't matter in the end. The final decision would still be made by the sect master alone. Different opinions just needed one voice to be heard. Time slowly passed, and the Black Mountain sect master remained silent. After a while, the golden light in his eyes flickered as it fell on a closed-eyed white-haired elder below. "Great Elder, what's your opinion on this matter?" The sect master's voice was indifferent, making it hard to tell whether he agreed with the suggestion of the Golden Body Realm Elder. Upon hearing this, the white-haired elder, who was the great elder of the Black Mountain sect, slowly opened his murky eyes and shook his head slightly. The 5th elder wants to ensure his own safety and preserve the strength of the sect. At any other time, although there would be losses, it may not be a bad approach. However, at this critical moment it's not appropriate. Firstly, our Black Mountain sect is a subordinate force of the White Lotus sect. For hundreds of years we have been under their protection, which has allowed us to catch our breath. If we just stand by and watch, it would be hard to justify our actions. Even if we relocate our sect to another place, how could we establish ourselves among the 100 sects? Secondly, if the White Lotus sect survives the onslaught of the Demon Suppression Army, how should our Black Mountain sect deal with their retribution afterward? We may not be able to provoke the Demon Suppression Army, but we can't afford to provoke the White Lotus sect even more. As the words of the great elder fell, the powerful figures in the hall all showed grim expressions. If the Black Mountain sect were to withdraw at this time, even if they survived in the future, they would have no foothold in the coastal areas. But if they don't withdraw, they may face complete destruction and the severing of their inheritance. Advancing is not an option, retreating isn't either. In this dilemma, the ultimate cause is still their lack of strength. During the peak of the Black Mountain sect, they were not inferior to the White Lotus sect, but now they were in such a predicament, causing many powerful figures in the hall to feel helpless. Keeping ourselves safe can be done, but even so, one must rely on their own strength. Without it, there's no way the Black Mountain sect can have a foothold in the coastal area. The Black Mountain sect master slowly spoke. 800 years ago, our Black Mountain sect was also prominent among the 100 sects, not falling short even when compared to the White Lotus sect. But it was because we wanted to wait and see, protect ourselves, that, in the end, the sect's upper echelon was destroyed and our inheritance was nearly severed. Now, we face another moment of life and death where we must make a choice. We no longer have the foundation we had 800 years ago. If we make another wrong decision, there will be no second chances. The voice of the Black Mountain sect master gradually turned cold. Therefore, we have only one choice, to firmly stand by the White Lotus sect. As his words came out, the hall fell into silence. One word decided their fate, such was the authority of the Black Mountain sect master. However, even after making a choice, the specific execution of the plan still needed careful consideration and deliberation. Sect Master, we will not oppose your decision, nor do we have the right to. However, I believe that even if we stand firmly by the White Lotus sect, we should still ensure that the Black Mountain sect does not suffer too much. Otherwise, it would be no different from being exterminated. Chapter 3:15 Black Mountain Sect's Choice _2 Black Mountain Sect's Fifth Elder continued, I propose that we should divide our sect's power into 3 parts. One part should fully support the White Lotus sect. One part should stay at the sect to observe the changes, and the last part should retreat secretly. As soon as the words fell, someone's eyes shone with brilliance, and they couldn't help but exclaim, "Excellent idea." After years of management and development, our sect has secretly recovered some vitality without the knowledge of the White Lotus sect. They don't even know the true strength of our Black Mountain sect. Even if they knew, our Black Mountain sect sending out 1/3 of our strength to support them would be acceptable in name. They and the 100 sects wouldn't say much, and in the future, we won't be facing the wrath of the White Lotus sect. In addition, one part of our power will carry part of the sect's inheritance elsewhere to ensure that the sect's inheritance will not be cut off. The remaining members in the sect can calmly observe the situation. If there are opportunities to help the White Lotus sect, this part can strike with full force to compensate for their dissatisfaction. If the Morrijin Demon Suppression Army is unstoppable, this part of the sect can transfer the entire sect's inheritance in time. Upon hearing this, the third elder also nodded repeatedly. Although the proposal came from him, he hadn't thought this much. His only thought was to preserve the sect's inheritance, which was more important than anything else. A single spark can start a prairie fire. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, he doesn't want to let it go. He had been to Morrijin before and knew its profoundness and strength. If Morrijin were to go all out, even a united front of the 100 sects wouldn't stand much of a chance. Moreover, the 100 sects have been based in the near-sea region for years. Conflicts arise between them due to these interests, making it harder to form an alliance than reaching the heavens. Yet Morrijin is ambitious and actively expanding, with its momentum being as unstoppable as the rising sun. Under these circumstances, the Black Mountain sect still has a slim chance if they turn their backs on the White Lotus sect. If they confront the Morrijin Demon Suppression Army, there will only be the road to destruction. But since the sect master had made a decision, he could not change it. The only thing he could change was to leave a glimmer of hope for the Black Mountain sect. The Black Mountain sect master looked deeply at the other party and said softly, "In that case, let the fifth elder lead a group of core disciples and leave the sect first." With that, he closed his eyes and didn't say another word. He was well aware of the crisis that the Black Mountain sect was about to face. But as the sect master of Black Mountain sect, he did not want to repeat the path taken by his predecessors 800 years ago. He is the sect master of the Black Mountain sect, and he cannot retreat. Also, the war has yet to begin, and everything remains uncertain. Warships swiftly traversed the deep sky, generating layers of spatial ripples. As they arrived in the near-sea region, heavenly and earthly spiritual chi became even denser. At the same time, the void was filled with thick water mist, reducing visibility to less than half of the original. However, this didn't affect the ship's speed. The Grand Fleet was unstoppable, marching forward. Especially with the colossal far suppression battleship present, even the powerful heavenly human realm experts had to avoid their sharp edges. Suddenly, the void churned, as if something was approaching quickly. A huge mouth opened wide, seemingly trying to swallow the treasure boat and all the martial artists on it. However, facing such a behemoth, Everyone remained calm and showed no sign of panic. As expected, when the huge mouth was about to touch the treasure boat, a dazzling light burst out from the boat, and a powerful force blasted the huge mouth. Roar! The treasure boat swayed slightly, while a wretched scream came from the depths of the sky. Humph! A mere 7th-rank sea beast dares to attack our Morrigan demon extermination army, simply courting death. A cold voice sounded, and a dark figure stepped out of the void from the treasure boat and disappeared into the void. Looking at the golden runes flashing around the figure, Lu Yun's face changed. Rune Seed Realm Expert. Moreover, he vaguely saw that the runes around this person numbered at least 70 or more, making them incredibly powerful. Martial artists at the peak of the gold body realm would inscribe heavenly and earthly laws as runes and refine them into rune seeds on the strong foundation of their flesh. After enduring thunder tribulation, they could advance to the rune seed realm. There are 4 grades of rune seeds. First, the rune seed that melts 36 law runes is considered a low-grade rune seed. Second, the rune seed that melts 64 law runes is considered a mid-level rune seed. Third, the rune seed that melts 81 law runes is considered a top-grade rune seed. Fourth, the rune seed that melts 99 runes is considered a superior rune seed. The person releases more than 70 law runes from their body, which means that their rune seed is at least a mid-level rune seed and very close to the top grade. Moreover, this does not guarantee that these are all of their law runes. Boom! The commotion coming from the void is enough to prove that this sea beast is not as simple as an ordinary 7th rank. Even so, bright red blood soon floats down, like a heavy downpour. Such strength is definitely not something that an ordinary rune seed realm expert can achieve. As expected, the Earth-rank demon extermination general has extraordinary strength, said Lei Kang, feeling the fluctuations in the void gradually calming down and showing surprise in his eyes. Before long, a huge creature falls from the depths of the void. Just before it hits the treasure boat, its remains vanish in a flash of golden runes. At the same time, the black-clothed Earth-rank demon extermination general gracefully lands on the treasure boat. The blood of a 7th-rank sea beast has a huge value, and it can enhance the physical strength of the demon extermination guard. Refine it well, he said, waving his hand. The sea beast's blood falls on every demon extermination guard. Thank you, General Zhuang. All the demon extermination guards on the treasure boat show excited expressions, looking at the black-clothed demon extermination general with even greater admiration. On the other side, Lei Kang whispered to Lu Yun, "This demon extermination general is named Zhuang Ziyuan, and he is one of the youngest Earth-rank demon extermination generals in the Demon Suppression Army, with a top-grade rune seed and a strong reputation." Lu Yun gave a faint smile. So it is a top-grade rune seed indeed? He had suspected this earlier, and now he got the confirmation from Lei Kang himself. Lu Yun did not pay any more attention to the vigorous low-level demon extermination general, but looked into the depths of the void and asked, "Elder Lei, isn't the near-sea area the territory of the 100 sect? Why are there such powerful sea beasts appearing?" The near-sea area is almost all land, not suitable for the ordinary sea clan to inhabit, but it is also the territory of sea beasts. However, 800 years ago, the 100 sect escaped from Jiuzhou and fought a fierce battle with the sea beasts. Eventually, because the sea beasts couldn't fully exert their strength on land, they were defeated and retreated to the outer sea region. Since then, the near-sea area has become the territory of the 100 sect. However, the enmity between the 100 sect and the Sea clan has been deeply rooted for hundreds of years, and from time to time, many high-level sea beasts attack the 100 sect's territory. Hearing this, Lu Yun nodded slightly. "It seems that we have helped the 100 sect solve a problem," he said. Lei Kang shook his head. "That's not exactly right. The 100 sect, after all, is part of the human race. The conflict between Morrijin and the Hundred Sect is due to differences in beliefs and positions, while the conflict between the demon beasts and the Sea Clan is one of racial differences. Racial conflicts are far greater than those of beliefs and positions, so for hundreds of years, Morrijin has mainly focused on driving away the demon beasts and expanding the Great Wilderness, while suppressing the Hundred Sect as a secondary task. If it weren't for the Hundred Sect's constant offenses against Morrijin, today's battle wouldn't have come so soon. Lei Kang's words were something that Lu Yun hadn't considered before. However, this made him even more curious about the Yuan Emperor's court. The warship continues to travel through deep space, encountering sea beast attacks on the way more than once, but all are slain by the powerful beings on the warship. Their bodies become trophies, while their blood becomes treasures to enhance the physical strength of the demon extermination guards. Time flies. Standing on the warship, one can vaguely see the bustling city below. However, the inhabitants of the city are just ordinary people under the rule of the Hundred Sect, and the demon suppression army does not harm them, continuing to advance deeper into the territory. Chapter 3:16. Breaking the formation, arrival. At this moment, a loud and resounding voice suddenly sounded from deep in the sky. N0. 1 N0. 2 Number 3 N0. 4 and Number 5 warships and their subordinates, follow the far suppression and continue onward. The remaining warships head to the White Lotus Sect's subordinate forces. The voice rang like a massive bell, drifting in the air and falling into everyone's ears. Rumble! The colossal warship at the forefront continued to sail forward, followed by 5 other massive warship fleets. Meanwhile, the smaller fleets began to veer off in other directions. The warship that Lu Yun was on, being a treasure-class battleship, was also massive in size. The demon suppression army on it comprised 10,000 people, among them, an Earth-rank demon extermination general, Wei Zongqing. Though his strength was not on par with Zhuang Zijin's, he was a formidable early-stage rune seed realm cultivator. There were also the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and South Sun Martial Academy on board, with 3 peak Golden Body Realm cultivators. There were also several thousand independent martial cultivators, including over a dozen Golden Body Realm martial artists. With such an imposing force at his disposal, the mission had only one goal: to eradicate the Black Mountain Sect. It was unknown how long it had been. Suddenly, a small point of light in front of them expanded rapidly, at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, an expansive white light appeared in everyone's sights. Seeing the heavens and earth enveloped in white mysterious light, Lu Yun couldn't help but feel something. Unlike the martial academies of the Morrijin states and counties, which had almost no defenses, the mountain gates of the Hundred Sects in the coastal regions were all protected by natural arrays. To enter, outsiders must break the sect array. Of course, arrays created by the foundations of a sect were not easily broken by ordinary people. The Black Mountain Sect was once a top sect in the region, with Golden Core realm cultivators and a long and rich inheritance. It had many means at its disposal. Even now, its sect array was still extraordinarily sturdy. How to break it open remained a challenge. Everyone be prepared. As soon as the array is broken, enter right away and kill all the strong members of the Black Mountain Sect, Wei Zongqing said coldly. Upon hearing this, the demon suppression army nodded obediently. The martial artists from the martial academies and the numerous independent martial cultivators also showed stern expressions and let their auras burst forth. Seeing this, Wei Zongqing didn't waste any more words and stepped off the warship into the sky. He then stretched out his right hand and a black all the size of a fist appeared in his palm. In the next moment, the black all detached itself from Wei Zongqing's hand, radiating a deep black light before rapidly enlarging. Buzz! As the all expanded, a rumbling noise sounded from the void surrounding it. The initially calm void instantly stirred up waves, which grew larger and larger as if the space was about to be pierced through by some force. Instantly, Lu Yun felt his mind trembling. So strong. His eyes were filled with shock. Just one glance at the black all caused his sea of consciousness to produce intense fluctuations. This showed just how terrifying the black all was. However, could this black all break through the Black Mountain sect protection array? As Lu Yun was doubtful, a familiar voice came from beside him. This is the array breaking all. Array breaking all? Lu Yun turned his head and saw Lei Kang, who had somehow made his way beside him. Seeing his confusion, Lei Kang's gaze fell on the array breaking all, and a solemn expression appeared on his face. The array breaking all, along with the warships and other artifacts, are part of the inheritance left by the first-generation primordial emperor. More than 800 years ago, during the expulsion of the 100 sects, the array breaking all was used to destroy one sect gate after another. Its fame skyrocketed, and the 100 sects fled in terror. Unfortunately, after centuries of scarce warfare between Morijin and the 100 sects, the array breaking all was no longer used, and its formidable reputation began to fade away. As he spoke, his solemn expression gradually gave way to nostalgia and ease. Rumor has it that each array breaking all is at least a superior treasure, possessing terrifying power. When fully stimulated, it can deliver a full-strength blow comparable to a golden core realm cultivator. As such, the Black Mountain sect protection array should be easily broken. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun was even more shocked. Although he didn't know the exact power of a full-strength blow from a golden core realm cultivator, he could vaguely guess that it would be a world-shattering force, and that seemingly unremarkable black all, or rather, the array-breaking all, possessed such power. Moreover, according to Lei Kang's words just now, there were not only one array-breaking all, and the weakest of them could unleash the power of a full-strength blow from a golden core realm cultivator. What about higher-grade array-breaking alls? Could they possess even greater power, on par with heavenly human realm cultivators? Lu Yun shook his head internally. He couldn't imagine how the 100 sects could compete with Morijin if they truly possessed such terrifying array-breaking alls. Under Wei Zongcheng's control, the array-breaking all enlarged to several tens of meters in size and, with an incredibly powerful penetrating force, descended towards the sect protection array covering the Black Mountain sect. The heaven and earth trembled violently, countless mysterious lights burst forth, and the sect protection array seemed to have received some kind of strong stimulus. At the same time, in the palace hall of the Black Mountain sect, the sect master, who was deep in thought about how to aid the White Lotus sect, suddenly opened his closed eyes. The palace trembled, the mountain shook, and the space quivered. Simultaneously, a neighing sound echoed throughout the hall. At this moment, every strong cultivator in the hall felt a slight change in their expressions. What is going on? It must be a sea beast attacking the sect protection array. As a sect near the ocean, the Black Mountain sect was often attacked by sea beasts. The sect had endured at least 1 or 2 sea beast attacks every year and had long become accustomed to such incidents, taking them in stride. Chapter 3:17 Breaking the Formation, Arrival 2 Sect Master, I will go out and kill this sea beast. A gold body realm expert stepped forward with a graceful bow, exuding an imposing aura. Alright, go quickly and return quickly. The Black Mountain Sect Master gave a slight nod. As long as it's not an overly powerful sea beast, 1 or 2 gold body realm experts should be enough. This individual was the heavenly pride Fu Feng of the Black Mountain sect, possessing the ability to fight across realms, and killing a sea beast that attacked the sect protection array would be as easy as flipping his hand. It wasn't surprising that he was so confident, as in the past, the attacking sea beasts had always been only at the 6th rank. However, as soon as his voice fell, the surrounding space began to tremble violently again, and the sturdy and thick hall started to show slight cracks. No, this attack is different from the past ones, it's more powerful. I'm afraid it's at least a 7th rank sea beast. Someone's voice trembled, speaking with disbelief. Upon hearing this, the expressions of the experts in the hall changed again. A 7th-rank sea beast was as powerful as a rune seed realm expert, and if they were targeted by such a powerful sea beast, the days of the Black Mountain sect would be in jeopardy. Previously, Heavenly Pride Fu Feng, who had asked to go to the battlefield, his complexion also became serious. He had no fear in facing a 6th-rank sea beast. But if it were a 7th-rank sea beast, the situation would be entirely different. A 7th-rank sea beast? The Black Mountain sect master's eyebrows furrowed slightly, waving his hand and saying, "In that case, ignore it for now, let it make a fuss for a while, and it will leave on its own." The sect protection array of the Black Mountain sect could withstand a Golden Core realm expert for a short period. A 7th-rank sea beast would be unable to break through the sect protection array. It would be troublesome to get rid of it, so they could only hunker down inside. Sect Master, why not ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and personally lead a team to support the White Lotus sect? This way, we can alleviate the suspicions of the White Lotus sect to the greatest extent. Seeing the hesitation of the Black Mountain sect master, the Great Elder suggested, "The Supreme Elder has been in seclusion, and I don't want to disturb him unless absolutely necessary." The Black Mountain sect master waved his hand slightly and pondered, "To show our sincerity, I will personally lead the team, and Great Elder will stay behind at the sect, keeping an eye on the changes in the battle situation. If anything unexpected happens, make a decision right away." Sect Master, the Great Elder wanted to speak further but was stopped by the sect master of Black Mountain sect. "All right, the decision has been made. Order the sect's true Chi realm disciples and above, as well as the resident elders, to assemble tomorrow morning. I will personally decide who will stay behind and who will go to battle." As the words fell, the Black Mountain sect master stood up, ready to leave the hall. But at this moment, a crisp noise came from outside, as if something was shattering. Not good. As if foreseeing something, the Black Mountain sect master's pupils were filled with horror, and he quickly picked up his pace and appeared outside the hall. Looking up, the mysterious light barrier that had enveloped the sky had shattered, turning into a series of streamers that fell towards the various peaks of the Black Mountain sect. The sect protection array is broken. At this moment, many disciples of the Black Mountain sect had their eyes filled with shock. The sect protection array had been broken, an event that had not occurred in hundreds of years. The last time the sect protection array had been broken had been over 800 years ago, and the Black Mountain sect's inheritance had almost been destroyed. What about this time? At this point, many of the experts in the hall also appeared outside right away. Their eyes were all fixed on the vortex that was constantly expanding, where a large awl was spinning wildly, trying to completely destroy the sect protection array. Ray breaking all. Looking at the pitch-black array breaking all that had been magnified countless times, the eyes of the Black Mountain sect master were filled with coldness and fear. Although he had not personally experienced the scene of the sect's high-level figures being slaughtered when the sect protection array was broken over 800 years ago, everything related to it had been passed down through generations of sect masters. Therefore, he was very clear about the array breaking all and how similar the current crisis facing the Black Mountain sect was to that of the past. The brink of life and death. Furthermore, the current Black Mountain sect was far from its peak. "Sect Master, what is that thing?" Fu Feng asked with trembling voice. The onlookers also looked towards the Black Mountain sect master, clearly shocked by the treasure that had broken the sect protection array. Array breaking all, a weapon that Morijin uses against the 100 sects. It is the nemesis of our 100 sects. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect slowly spoke, his brain racing at lightning speed as he pondered over the next course of action. The array breaking all had appeared, so how could Morijin's demon suppression army not have arrived? Array breaking all. Most of the strong experts were somewhat puzzled upon hearing this name, while the Great Elder's ancient eyes slightly narrowed. He exclaimed, How is it possible? Weren't the White Lotus sect and the Red Moon Demon sect the main targets of the demon suppression army? How did they appear outside of our Black Mountain sect? He could not believe it, nor did he dare to imagine it. But they've already come, and they've even broken through our sect protection array. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect said with trembling voice. The Meridian's demon suppression army has arrived, and their target is pointed straight towards our Black Mountain sect. Notify all disciples of the sect to immediately run. After saying this, it seemed as though he had exhausted all his strength, becoming extremely weak. Run? Including the Great Elder, everyone could hardly believe that such words would come out of their sect master's mouth. Our Black Mountain sect is too weak. Being targeted by the demon suppression army, there's only one outcome: total annihilation. The only solution is to flee. He was well aware of how formidable the demon suppression army outside must be, considering they were able to deploy a precious treasure like the array breaking all. With the current strength of the Black Mountain sect, they simply couldn't resist. Escaping was the best option. But, listen to my order, hurry and inform the disciples of the sect to flee. The Black Mountain sect master roared with all his might. Upon seeing this, the Golden Body Realm experts finally realized the seriousness of the situation and quickly headed towards the various mountaintop. Great Elder, why are you not leaving? The sect master of the Black Mountain sect looked at the Great Elder beside him and spoke indifferently. Aren't you also not leaving, sect master? Am not leaving because it's my responsibility and mission. You are the sect master and I am the Great Elder. Staying behind is also my responsibility. The Great Elder smiled and said, Moreover, with my body on the verge of breaking down, I won't last much longer. If I can buy some more time for the disciples to escape, it's worth it. Under their gaze, with a puff, the array completely collapsed, revealing the true void in front of them. In that boundless deep space, enormous warships descended one after another, completely enveloping the sky above the Black Mountain sect. Demon Suppression Army. Gazing at the massive warships that filled the entire sky, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect's eyes were filled with chill. Although he already knew in his heart that it was undoubtedly the Demon Suppression Army that had arrived, seeing the actual colossal warships, his mood sank to rock bottom. Great Elder, today we shall fight side by side. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect deeply looked at the palace behind him one last time, and finally, his eyes rested on the Great Elder. The Great Elder stood with his hands behind his back and uttered a single word from his mouth. Battle. Immediately after, he stepped into the sky, preparing to strike horizontally at the incoming Demon Suppression Army. At the same time, the news of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival spread throughout the Black Mountain sect's 3 palaces and 9 peaks in an instant. These disciples, upon receiving orders from their peak masters and elders, were all shocked. Not fighting and running away, this is not the proper behavior of the disciples of the Black Mountain sect. I, Xiao Zhan, request permission to join the fray. I, Wang Bo, also request permission to fight. The true inheritor of the sect, Luo Yunxi, requests permission to fight. With a great enemy approaching, the only command issued by the sect was to flee, which the disciples couldn't accept. Consequently, they clamored to join the battle. However, when they saw those colossal warships in the sky, which were like clouds hanging above, everyone was intimidated and momentarily, no one requested to join the battle. The disciples who had previously clamored to join the battle hesitated, not knowing what was on their minds. Fleeing without fighting may be shameful, but what's the big deal as long as it ensures the survival of the sect's inheritance? Looking at these disciples who were silent one by one, a strong expert from the Black Mountain sect spoke. Go, this peak master will lead you all to break through. This time, no disciple refused. Scenes like this happened simultaneously in many places in the Black Mountain sect. Aboard the warship, Wei Zongqing withdrew the array, breaking all, and coldly observed the chaotic state of the Black Mountain sect below. Chapter 3:18 Black silence, profound thunder. In the next moment, Wei Zongqing appeared in the deep sky. With a punch, accompanied by a rumbling sound, endless golden runes appeared in the void, ruthlessly falling towards the Black Mountain sect. In an instant, the void exploded, and the mountains trembled. All the palaces of the Black Mountain sect were annihilated at this moment. Then, the battleship slowly descended and settled on the top of the mountain. The disputes over the Tao and positions have no right or wrong. Blame them for obstructing Marine's development and the rise of the human race. Today's battle must not be held back, otherwise today's kindness will be cruelty to the human race in the future. After briefly explaining, Wei Zongqing stepped out, surrounded by golden runes, like a descending golden sun, with a magnificent momentum that shook the void. Rune Seed Realm. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect stepped into the void, reaching a position on par with Wei Zongqing. The void tore open, and a giant seal appeared there. The entire body of the giant seal was pitch black, with a deep and mysterious surface, mysterious patterns all over it, as if it were flowing black lightning, filled with a destructive and majestic aura that emitted from it. Black Mountain Seal. Seeing the black seal appear, there was a slight fluctuation in Wei Zongqing's calm eyes. As a demon extermination general in this campaign against the Black Mountain sect, he naturally knew about the situation of the Black Seal. The Black Mountain Seal was the treasure of the Black Mountain sect, not only possessing the power to shake mountains but also releasing the terrifying black silence, profound thunder. Even Rune Seed Realm experts who were accidentally contaminated by it would be in danger of falling. Unfortunately, treasures like the Black Mountain Seal could only be used by someone above the Rune Seed Realm, barely able to exert 7 or 8/10 of its power. The current sect master of the Black Mountain sect, afraid of the might of Thunder Tribulation, did not dare to cross it, barely considered as half-step Rune Seed Realm. Even with the Black Mountain Seal, he wasn't someone to be feared. In just a moment of seeing the Black Mountain Seal, Wei Zongqing had already weighed the pros and cons. On the other side, with the Black Mountain Seal in his hand, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect looked at all the people in front of him, a coldness in his deep black eyes. My Black Mountain sect withdrew from 9 provinces 800 years ago and has never set foot in Marine's territory, nor has it ever been an enemy of Marine. Why does Marine's demon suppression army want to destroy my sect now? The sect master of the Black Mountain sect's voice was powerful, clearly falling into everyone's ears. Humph, the 100 sects are indeed the scum of our human race, especially the White Lotus sect and the Red Moon Demon sect, who have repeatedly violated Marine, plundered our population, and destroyed the foundation of the human race. Your Black Mountain sect, as a subordinate force of the White Lotus sect, is also guilty and must be punished. Wei Zongqing's tone was indifferent, filled with killing intent. Hearing this, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect sneered, "What a guilty and must be punished! Marine is just stealing the victory fruits of the 100 sects, and now he actually thinks he is the orthodox human race. It's really ridiculous." Marine expelled demon beasts, expanded the endless great wilderness, developed territory, spread martial arts throughout the world, and made martial arts prosperous. Its achievements are far beyond your reach. Today, my demon suppression army is here to eradicate the remnants left from 800 years ago and permanently eliminate the internal troubles of the human race. With a wave of Wei Zongqing's hand, the demon suppression guards and many martial artists on the battleship appeared and killed the Black Mountain sect with a soaring killing intent. "Humph, if you want to destroy my Black Mountain sect, pass me first." As the words fell, the Black Mountain Seal trembled, and the black silence, profound thunder erupted. The void beneath sect master of the Black Mountain sect collapsed, and the sky-high momentum instantly burst out. Half-step Rune Seed Realm, although just a half-step, was far from comparable to the strength of a gold body realm peak expert. In his move, a world-shattering might burst out from the void. Just a mere half-step rune seed realm, even if you have a treasure like the Black Mountain Seal, how much power can you really exert? Wei Zongqing sneered coldly, and the long sword behind him sounded as if it was drawn out of its scabbard by itself. As the sword hilt was grasped, the power of heaven and earth gathered, the sword radiance erupted, cutting the void in front of him effortlessly. Black silence, profound thunder, and surging sword radiance collided. Waves that were like sea waves surged towards all sides. At the same time, all the people on the battleship rushed into the mountain gate. On the mountain peak, green mountains and clear waters originally held a beautiful scenery, even planted with various spirit herbs. Now, however, they were devastated. The disciples of the Black Mountain sect were all in a daze, with such a sudden appearance of so many powerhouses, rushing to kill, frighten them to quickly counterattack and flee. Boom! A golden thunder suddenly struck down from the sky, directly piercing a fleeing disciple of the Black Mountain sect and turning him into a charred husk. Humph, don't think about escaping, Black Mountain sect. Lei Kang looked coldly at the panicked disciples of the Black Mountain sect, his body flickering with golden thunder and an arresting momentum. Behind him, Lu Yun and other Martial Academy disciples followed suit. "I'll stop them, you guys retreat first," someone roared, and a man dressed in black robes blocked Lei Kang. Apparently, this was a gold body realm expert who had been immersed in this realm for many years. Even sensing the terrifying power from Lei Kang, he wasn't afraid and actively intercepted him. "Saint Child, leave this one to me, you guys chase down the others," Lei Kang said to the Flying Spirit Martial Academy students behind him, soaring into the sky, a bolt of thunder shooting out, colliding with the black-robed man. Boom! As the two collided, Lei Kang occupied the upper hand, completely suppressing the Black Mountain sect's expert. Chapter 319 Dark Mysterious Thunder _2 Kill. Lu Yun ordered the people behind him and took the lead in pursuing the enemies. There were numerous disciples in the Black Mountain sect, with tens of thousands in the inner sect alone. Moreover, the Black Mountain sect occupied a vast area, with 3 main halls, 9 peaks, and dozens of large and small mountain peaks. It would not be easy to exterminate all the people of the Black Mountain sect. "We are all of the human race, why must you kill us without mercy?" After surrounding a group of about 10 or so Black Mountain sect disciples on their own, a young man in his 20s asked accusingly, "It is not that we want to kill you relentlessly, but the 100 sects are no longer suitable for the development of the human race, especially forces like the White Lotus sect." Lu Yun had contacted the White Lotus sect a few times before and had no good feelings for them. The Black Mountain sect, as a subordinate force, was not much better. Moreover, he was now representing Marine and the greater interests of the human race. The 100 sects stood against Marine, hindering the progress of the human race, and must be eliminated. With a slight wave of his hand, several fire snakes emerged and fell upon the 12 Black Mountain sect disciples, burning them to ashes in no time. Lu Yun glanced at his demon extermination token, but there was no change on it. It seems that killing disciples of the 100 sects below the transforming origin realm indeed does not grant any demon extermination points. Lu Yun shook his head slightly and then led the Martial Academy students behind him to continue pursuing the enemy. Although the Black Mountain sect had regained some strength, it had no power to resist the onslaught of 1 rune seed realm, 3 peak golden body realm experts, over 20 golden body realm warriors, and tens of thousands of demon extermination guards and martial artists. Haha, it's no wonder that you were once the sect that ruled Kyushu. Even now, you still have such a deep foundation that simply acquiring 1 item can be worth years of my hard work. The most ferocious ones in this process were the independent martial cultivators. They joined the demon suppression army this time to earn demon extermination points and take advantage of the chaos of war to gain cultivation resources. Compared to earning points, they were more enthusiastic about the latter. At this time, the fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples had more or less a considerable number of spirit crystals and pills on them. As long as they were killed and their bodies were searched, there would be a lot of gains. Haha, 2 late-stage true Chi disciples, die for me. A middle-aged independent martial cultivator caught up with 2 Black Mountain sect disciples and launched his attack with explosive fists. The red true origin surrounding his body indicated that he was at the transforming origin realm level. With such power, it was a piece of cake for him to kill the 2 true Chi realm Black Mountain sect disciples. You dogs of Marine dare to slaughter my sect's disciples so blatantly. You really deserve to die. A 26 or 27-year-old Black Mountain sect disciple leaped into the air and slashed his sword at the middle-aged independent martial cultivator. With a boom, their attacks collided, and the middle-aged independent martial cultivator was defeated, spewing blood and flying away. As his body flew through the air, the sword light flashed, and blood splattered as his body was cut in two. It's senior brother Lin Feng, he's here to save us. The 2 disciples were surprised and then overjoyed. This genius senior brother was one of the top true inheritance disciples of the sect. He was highly talented, powerful, and prestigious, and the Black Mountain sect disciples respected him deeply. Kid, you actually didn't run away, instead you came back. I don't know if you are loyal or foolish, but no matter what, since you stayed behind, prepare to die. Several powerful independent martial cultivators appeared in the sky, attacking from the front. These were more powerful cultivators among the independent practitioners who had been stuck in the origin fluid realm for many years and could not advance to the golden body realm. This time, if they could accumulate enough demon extermination points, they could exchange them for pills to improve their cultivation or even exchange for a golden body realm cultivation technique, giving them a chance to glimpse the powerful golden body realm. The Black Mountain sect may be on the verge of collapse, but we will not tolerate your independent cultivators causing havoc. At that moment, a voice appeared, coming from above. It was an elder of the Black Mountain sect. Damn it, it's a golden body realm expert. The independent cultivators were shrewd people, knowing to pick on the weak. Golden body realm experts were not something they could handle. So, as soon as they saw the elder appear, they didn't hesitate at all and immediately fled. Elder Ting, don't let them go, or our whereabouts will be exposed. Lin Feng hurriedly reminded. The elder called Ting nodded, trying to escape from me, how is that possible? Boom! After just a few exchanges, golden light flickered in the sky, followed by spurts of blood as the 3 origin fluid realm independent cultivators were killed. They were independent cultivators, inherently weaker, and now facing a golden body realm expert from the Black Mountain sect, they were no match at all. Thank you, Elder Ting. Lin Feng bowed in gratitude. You carry the hope of our sect as one of our true inheritance disciples. You must not be so reckless next time. Elder Ting looked at the humble and polite disciple in front of him, and although he was quite satisfied, he still scolded him. Elder, I couldn't bear to see my fellow disciples in danger. You, Elder Ting wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't open his mouth. He just said, hurry up and leave before Marine's demon suppression army catches up again. I'm afraid you won't be able to leave. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. At the sound of the voice, Elder Ting's body trembled slightly. He looked up to see a young man in a purple robe had appeared before them without them noticing. Chapter 320. Lack silence profound thunder. The person who came was none other than Lu Yun. After killing more than a dozen Black Mountain sect disciples at the transforming origin realm level, the demon extermination points on his demon's extermination token finally broke through the count of 20. 20 demon extermination points, which were too many for regular martial artists. However, to Lu Yun it was pitifully few, so he was preparing for solo action. Of course, before this, He had already ordered the 3 Golden Body Realm Elders from the Martial Academy to protect Gu Yuan, Bailey Yi, and the others, no matter what. The Black Mountain sect was now in a state of total collapse, with many Golden Body Realm powerhouses being entangled by the Demon Suppression Army and other powerhouses. In such a situation, Lu Yun no longer needed to worry about the safety of Gu Yuan and the others, so he chased them on his own. As expected, he had finally encountered 2 decent preys. Very well, you just have the Origin Fluid Realm for cultivation, yet dared to chase me alone. You're quite good. Elder Ting from the Black Mountain sect discerned Lu Yun's cultivation level with a single glance. His eyes were cold and his tone was chilling. Enough to kill you. Lu Yun's eyes were slightly cold as he threw a direct punch. Red sun breaks the sky. An overwhelmingly powerful punch rumbled out, enveloped a huge mountain, making it seem as if it was covered by a terrifying light. The fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples could only feel the earth shaking and look in horror at the waves sweeping over them from behind. Because all they could see was an endless golden light. And that venerable and powerful Elder Ting was directly submerged by the golden light. His last gaze fell on this Black Mountain sect true inheritance disciple, Lin Feng. What could be seen in his gaze? Expectation, longing, and hope. Elder Ting, looking at Elder Ting, who couldn't even withstand 1 round in this young man's hands and was directly bombed to death. This Black Mountain sect true inheritance disciple had a stunned look filled with grief and shock. He had clearly heard earlier that this young man was at the Origin Fluid Realm cultivation level. But as a result, the dignified Golden Body Realm Elder of the Black Mountain sect was actually killed with a counterattack. What kind of monster is this? While shocked, his heart was filled with immense grief and anger. His revered elder, who he had always been very respectful of, died right in front of him, and his hatred was like an endless river. Destroying my sect, killing my fellow disciples, I, Lin Feng, and Morijin will never coexist. Lin Feng coldly glanced at Lu Yun, then took out a golden talisman paper with interwoven law auras, which was quite mysterious. This was a teleportation talisman, capable of instantly teleporting tens of thousands of miles away. It was extremely precious, and could only be made by Rune Seed Realm powerhouses. Before this, he would never have left his fellow disciples to escape alone. But now, having witnessed Elder Ting falling in front of him because of himself, he knew he couldn't be reckless anymore. So, he crushed the teleportation talisman without hesitation. As the space ripple emerged, and he was about to break the void and leave, a golden streak suddenly pierced through his head. Golden Edge Swordfang. This was the treasure Lu Yun obtained from the Golden Ho Beast. At this moment in his hands, the Golden Edge Swordfang became even more flexible and its power was even more terrifying. Looking at the corpse lying on the ground, there was a slight fluctuation in Lu Yun's expression. Honestly, in his view, both the true inheritance disciple of the Black Mountain sect and the Golden Body Realm Elder he had just killed had been quite sincere towards their fellow sect members, even showing no fear of death. Killing such people gave him an odd feeling in his heart. No matter what, they were still part of the human race, and there was no enmity between them and himself. Killing them would naturally stir some emotions in his heart. Blame yourselves for being part of a sect. In the end, Lu Yun still shook his head slightly, clearing the strange emotions in his heart. He had always been quite clear-headed when faced with major issues. Now, Morijin was the orthodox of the human race. As long as Morijin could lead the human race to continue expanding, they would prosper and grow stronger. The 100 sect, on the other hand, would only seek their own interests, causing internal strife and attempting to take advantage of Morijin's expansion into the great wilderness to erode Morijin's foundation. Such actions absolutely couldn't be tolerated. Chapter 321. The Fall of the Black Sect Master, Arrival of the Supreme Elder Now. The entire Black Mountain sect is immersed in battle, with more than half of its disciples lost. At present, Only those elite disciples escorted by various sect masters and elders have survived. However, pursued and attacked by demon extermination guards and numerous martial academy disciples and independent martial cultivators, they are also heavily wounded. As their fellow sect members fell one by one, the entire Black Mountain sect was engulfed in sorrow. Are we of the Black Mountain sect doomed in this disaster? An elder, looking at the encircling demon extermination guards, wept and lamented to the heavens. As long as the fire seed remains, a prairie fire will surely rise in the future. The fifth elder sighed deeply, with a hint of relief in his eyes. He had anticipated that giving full support to the White Lotus sect would ultimately lead to the destruction of the Black Mountain sect, and therefore proposed the plan to divide the sect's strength into 3. Now, some of the disciples had already left the mountain gate, hiding in nearby sea areas, ensuring that even if no one escaped, the Black Mountain sect would not be completely wiped out. He looked deeply at the mountain gate and at the disciples surrounding him, his expression calm, and in an almost desolate voice, he said, "You must live." With a reminder, he led the charge and fought through. Outside the mountain gate, shadows loomed, and the demon extermination guards were already in battle formation, completely encircling the Black Mountain sect. Boom! Battle erupted immediately, with true origin intertwining, rainbow lights flashing, and the first to charge out, the Black Mountain sect's fifth elder, quickly becoming bloodied and heavily injured. That was because his opponent was much stronger than him. Behind him, a group of elite disciples looked pale. If the late Golden Core Realm's fifth elder couldn't help them break through, who could lead them out? Break through there! At another direction, 7 or 8 Black Mountain sect elders took the lead, bathed in blood, battling fiercely with the demon extermination guards. The mountain peak was directly leveled, creating a bloody path and leading numerous disciples to break through the siege. Want to leave? It's not that easy. In the distance, Lei Kang stepped on the void and arrived. With a casual move, golden thunderbolts flew out. Boom! Thunder arcs fell, smashing mountains and shaking space. No one knew how powerful this thunderbolt was. Even though several Black Mountain sect elders tried to resist it, many disciples were still buried in it. Not good, this person is too strong, at least in the Golden Body Realm peak. The people of the Black Mountain sect were horrified. Besides the Supreme Elder and Sect Master, only the Great Elder of the Black Mountain sect was at the Golden Body Realm peak. However, now the Sect Master was battling the Demon Suppression Army commander, and the Great Elder was also entangled by other Demon Suppression Army experts. As for the most powerful Supreme Elder, he was in life and death seclusion, and whether he was alive or not was still an unknown. The remaining people were ordinary Golden Body Realm martial artists, with a certain gap from the peak of the Golden Body Realm. Not to mention Lei Kang, who had been immersed in the current realm for many years and was waiting to condense rune seeds and cross the Thunder Tribulation to advance to the Rune Seed realm. Black Mountain sect is destined to be destroyed, and none of you have a chance to escape. Lei Kang coldly shouted, his body wrapped in golden thunder, and he rushed forward to kill. If you want to destroy my Black Mountain sect, you must pay with blood. 3 Black Mountain sect elders immediately tried to stop Lei Kang, while the other elders led the elite disciples to continue breaking through the siege. Battle began, and Lei Kang was not the only one trying to stop the people of the Black Mountain sect from escaping. And there was not only one direction for the Black Mountain sect's people to escape. Shadows were everywhere, encircling, blocking, and killing each other in various places. In the deep sky above the Black Mountain sect, golden runes shook the void, black thunders roared, and powerful waves echoed in the sky. Compared to this intense battle, the ground fighting seemed ordinary. Sword intense sword, and the powerful sword chi pierced through the clouds. The Earth-rank demon extermination General Wei Zongqing of the Demon Suppression Army was bathed in bright light, emitting dazzling flashes, and one law rune after another floated out, surrounding him, blocking the terrifying black silence profound thunder. If you had crossed the thunder tribulation and truly advanced to the rune seed realm, and then held this black mountain seal in your hand, even I would not easily deal with you. Unfortunately, you have hesitated to cross the tribulation for too long, and today, you can only die under my sword, with the Black Mountain sect destroyed. The Black Mountain sect master was indifferent. What more could he say now? He didn't want to say more, wishing only to use the entirety of his power, mobilizing the Black Mountain seal to block this mighty enemy. The Black Mountain seal, as the sect's treasure, took a heavy toll on him to drive it with only half-step rune seed realm strength, one unknown to outsiders. However, his originally slightly dark head of hair now had a few strands of white. Obviously, driving the Black Mountain seal with insufficient strength had caused him no small sequelae. But at this critical moment, he had to stand up, even if it meant falling for good. Again driving the Black Mountain seal, countless terrifying black silence, profound thunders spread across the void. Their terrifying power devoured all light, and the only thing that could contend with them was the law rune, flickering with golden brilliance. The collision of the two produced a terrifying ripple, shaking the void and making everyone sweat. Thankfully, this battle took place in the deep sky. Otherwise, the surrounding land of the Black Mountain sect for tens of thousands of miles would be completely destroyed. Even so, the fluctuations in the deep sky were extremely terrifying. The people of the Black Mountain sect dared not fly, and the various martial academy disciples and independent martial cultivators also dared not chase through the air, fighting through the mountains and wilds instead. Chapter 322. The Fall of the Black Sect Master, Arrival of the Supreme Elder _2. Despite this, the golden runes and black profound thunder unintentionally fell from the depths of the sky, causing mountains to explode and many people to get caught in the aftermath, ultimately falling to their death. You fought me to this extent even as a half-step rune seed realm martial artist, and even if you relied on the treasure, it's still worthy of pride. Wei Zongqing looked at the white-haired Black Mountain sect master in the distance and spoke in a deep voice. At this time, the opponent's vitality had already been exhausted, visibly aging. Forcibly driving the Black Mountain seal had consumed more than half of his lifespan, and his life was nearing its end. I haven't reached my limit yet. The Black Mountain sect master's figure charged up once again. All of the life force in his body was injected into the Black Mountain seal. The black profound thunder in the depths of the sky crackled and rolled like a tidal wave. It's just futile struggling. 79 law runes appeared again around Wei Zongqing, each one almost transforming into a vast golden ocean, together encircling the black profound thunder. For a time, disastrous black thunderclouds burst in the depths of the sky, creating powerful fluctuations. The golden runes interwoven into a vast racine seemed incredibly brilliant, but the oppressive aura they released made people tremble with fear. Gradually, the black thunder slowly subsided, and the depths of the sky returned to calm. A golden light fell like a meteor. Finally, Wei Zongqing emerged from the depths of the sky, with golden runes surrounding him. His left hand held a black seal resembling a mountain, and his right hand held a golden longsword. The Black Mountain sect master has been killed by me, and their sect's treasure has fallen into my hands. All demon extermination guards, martial academy disciples, and martial artists, listen to my command. Attack the Black Mountain sect with full force and don't let any of them escape. Kill all the demon extermination guards, martial academy disciples, and martial artists showed no hesitation. They split into more than 10 groups, chasing and killing the fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples. This bloody battle was extraordinarily brutal. Amidst the bombardment of true origin, severed limbs flew through the air and blood splattered everywhere. Life seemed incredibly fragile in this moment. Elder, senior brother, junior sister. The many disciples of the Black Mountain sect roared in grief. Seeing their fellow sect members fall before their very eyes, even the most hardened of men couldn't help but shed tears. Moreover, these elders, senior brothers, and senior sisters were all trying to protect them, risking their lives to block the powerful enemies. Go this way. Another powerful Black Mountain sect elder appeared, standing in front of the disciples to guard them as they fled. He activated his true origin, killing the advancing demon extermination guards and independent martial cultivators, blocking others from catching up while allowing the disciples to escape quickly. Junior brothers, this person is at least at the middle stage of the Golden Body Realm. We should not be reckless. Chiao Gyun cautioned the disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy as they flew behind him. Bai Haoxuan, Bailey Yi, and the others nodded. With their current strength, killing some Black Mountain sect disciples in the transforming origin realm was manageable, but they wouldn't stand a chance against a Golden Body Realm expert. You all continue chasing. This person is mine. At this moment, Lu Yun's figure appeared before them. Yes, Saint Child. Chiao Gyun and the others passed by Lu Yun and continued chasing ahead. Cold light burst in the eyes of the Black Mountain sect elder as he looked at Lu Yun. Just a later stage Origin Fluid Realm cultivator, you think you can stop me? Even so, he did not pay attention to Lu Yun. Instead, he brazenly summoned the power of the earth and sky, transforming it into a giant hand, reaching out to grab Chiao Gyun and the others. Seeing this, Lu Yun remained indifferent. With a thought, the golden-edged sword Fang flew out, transforming into a giant golden sword, tearing apart the elder's giant hand. At the same time, a shimmering golden halo fell from the void, as if forged of gold. It suddenly magnified, like a golden world, suppressing the elder. Intense fear rose in the elder's heart as the 100 refined Vajra ring filled his vision. Forcing himself to suppress the impulse to flee, he hurriedly drove his yuan high, unleashing a torrent of true origin. However, under the terrifying suppressive power, he had no strength to resist. Unsurprisingly, this mid-stage Golden Body Realm elder of the Black Mountain sect was directly killed by Lu Yun using the 100 refined Vajra ring. Looking at the corpse on the ground, which was covered in golden blood, Lu Yun's deep gaze carried a touch of emotion. This 100 refined Vajra ring is indeed extremely powerful. Even the body of a Golden Body Realm expert can't withstand its suppressing power. He discovered that the two treasures he had obtained from the Golden Ho Beast, the Golden-Edged Sword Fang and 100 refined Vajra ring, all possessed incredible power. Frankly, he originally thought that these two treasures were at best equivalent to mysterious instrument. But now it was far from as simple as he thought. This Black Mountain sect elder was a mid-stage Golden Body Realm expert, contributing 800 demon extermination points to Lu Yun. Adding the dozens of transforming Origin Realm and Origin Fluid Realm disciples he killed earlier, along with an early-stage Golden Body Realm elder, Lu Yun now had more than 1,500 demon extermination points. Killing a late-stage Golden Body Realm 100 sect expert gives me 1,600 demon extermination points. It seems that killing all these people still isn't as rewarding as killing a late-stage Golden Body Realm. Lu Yun muttered to himself and then quickly shook his head. Although his strength was incredible, he could easily kill ordinary Golden Body Realm expert. However, the Black Mountain sect didn't have that many Golden Body Realm experts, and their enemies wouldn't just wait to be killed by him. Now that the people of the Black Mountain sect have either escaped or died, pursuing them wouldn't yield much. Lu Yun's eyes flickered, and after pondering for a moment, he made a decision. As the Black Mountain sect disciples were suddenly attacked, there must be a lot of resources left behind in the sect. While the war was still ongoing, he should hurry and seize them. If he was lucky, this extra loot would far exceed what he would gain from chasing down the Black Mountain sect disciples. On the way back, Lu Yun found that there were quite a few people who had the same idea as him. Moreover, most of them were independent martial cultivators. Obviously, compared to Martial Academy disciples, these independent martial cultivators were more skilled and experienced in such matters, and they were even faster than Lu Yun. Lu Yun glanced at the spirit field beside him, which only contained low-grade spirit herbs that could be used at most to refine first- and second-grade pills. Seeing the severe damage, Lu Yun didn't look much further, sped up, and rushed toward the main peak of the Black Mountain sect. Once the war was over, no one would be allowed to loot resources, so Lu Yun had to hasten his pace. The main peak's array had already been destroyed, with many independent martial cultivators shuttling through it. It was unknown if there were any gains. Just as Lu Yun was annoyed by his own hesitation, he suddenly sensed a terrifying aura rapidly approaching at a horrifying speed in the void. Sensing the vast aura, Lu Yun's expression changed. The incoming person might be infinitely close to the Rune Seed realm. At present, his limit strength was at most to contend with peak Golden Body realm martial artists. If he encountered a stronger opponent, he would have almost no chance of winning. Without much thought, he immediately used Instant Horizon and quickly disappeared from the main peak. Just a few breaths after he left, a burly figure arrived at the main peak from the back mountain amidst the space shaking. Seeing the destroyed palace on the main peak and numerous martial artists shuttling through it, wantonly harvesting resources, extreme coldness filled the pale golden eyes. Damn it! It's really damn it! He hadn't expected that he would only be in a life-and-death seclusion for a short time, and when he reappeared, this was the scene he saw. With the sect protection array broken, the spirit field destroyed, ruins everywhere, and not a single living sect disciple in sight, only corpses, it was clear how furious this Black Mountain sect expert was. Immediately after, a series of miserable screams resounded. Before long, the blood on the main peak flowed into a river. Hundreds of miles away, Lu Yun felt relieved as he sensed the shocking fluctuations behind him. Thanks to his quick escape, he wouldn't have to face that powerful opponent, who could have left him seriously injured even if he didn't die. Chapter 323, Thunder Tribulation. Within the Black Mountain sect, the cries of battle shook the sky. All the independent martial cultivators were surging forward, wanting to take advantage of this rare opportunity to seize a fortune of their own. The 3 halls and 9 peaks of the Black Mountain sect, along with various spirit fields and the book collection pavilion, were their primary targets, making the scene extremely lively. The scripture repository is empty, it has been moved long ago. Let us pursue them. Their high-ranking figures and elite disciples must have cultivation techniques on them. A late-origin fluid realm independent martial cultivator shouted his order. There were many martial artists around him, each with varying degrees of success. Some even managed to empty the remaining book collection of Black Mountain sect. After everything was looted, they set fire to the spirit fields and buildings. In an instant, smoky flames were everywhere. Such audacity! A stout elder, seeing the ruinous state of the peaks, had his eyes turning red. His body was entwined with golden runes and rushed into the crowd of martial artists. Boom! An intense green light consisting of runes flew out. They were extraordinarily dense, crashed into the crowd with a loud rumble. Those independent martial cultivators from all parts of Ling province, who showed greedy expressions, immediately screamed in pain. Soon after, the bodies of dozens of martial artists exploded. With just one strike, the area was cleared. All martial artists were lying on the ground with their bodies shattered, none of them intact. This old fellow is terrifying. Let's fight together and kill him. One of the independent martial cultivator in the Golden Body realm yelled. With a boom, the stout elder swept across the air. A green light made up of runes chopped down, and the Golden Body realm cultivator immediately blew up into a bloody rain, shocking everyone present. "It's the Supreme Elder has come out!" exclaimed the disciples of the Black Mountain sect, their faces filled with excitement at the sight of this powerful and domineering elder. "Jiang Ku, hasn't he transcended the Thunder Tribulation yet?" Zhuochuya recognized the Supreme Elder of the Black Mountain sect the moment he saw him. The most potent forces of the Black Mountain sect were the Supreme Elder and the Sect Master. Both were at the half-step rune seed realm. According to the information he obtained, Jiang Ku stopped managing the sect 5 years ago and started his life and death seclusion. What they referred to as the life and death seclusion was the Thunder Tribulation for advancing to the rune seed realm. After a golden body realm cultivator condenses rune seeds, they reach the pseudo-rune seed realm, also known as the half-step rune seed realm. Only after experiencing the baptism of Thunder Tribulation can one formally advance to the rune seed realm. However, less than 30% of those who survive the Thunder Tribulation can advance to the rune seed realm. Most people die under the tribulation. Because the Thunder Tribulation of the rune seed realm was so terrifying, many martial artists chose to halt at the half-step rune seed realm, not daring to trigger the Thunder Tribulation recklessly. Jiang Ku, who had been in the half-step rune seed realm for decades, started preparing for the tribulation when the sect master of Black Mountain sect had condensed his rune seeds and had reached the half-step rune seed realm, gaining the ability to use the sect's treasure, the Black Mountain seal. However, judging from his current state, it seems like he has not yet finished transcending the tribulation. No, it should be that he is getting ready to face the Thunder Tribulation now. Zhuochuya looked up at the sky. As expected, the sky was suddenly darkened by gathering clouds, turning pitch black. Not good, he has already triggered the Thunder Tribulation. Zhuoqiwai's face changed slightly, and he immediately withdrew. Although he could extinguish the Thunder Tribulation associated with the advancement to the rune seed realm with a single hand at his peak strength, he was currently far from his peak and absolutely couldn't afford to get involved. Those who dare to move against the Black Mountain sect must pay the price in blood. The Supreme Elder of the Black Mountain sect roared, heading forward with the dense black clouds above him. Booming! Within the dark clouds, thunders were brewing, implying a threat of unimaginable scale. Not good! Whether it was the Demon Suppression Army, the people from the Martial Academy or the independent martial cultivators, their faces turned pale with terror. No one imagined that someone would trigger the Thunder Tribulation at this time, which was extremely disadvantageous to them. Anyone within the range of the Thunder Tribulation, regardless of who they were, would be targeted. Moreover, the more people there are, the more terrifying the Thunder Tribulation becomes. That's why, generally, martial artists choose a sparsely populated place when transcending tribulations. Firstly, to avoid any disturbances, and secondly, to keep the power of the Thunder Tribulation under control. But right now, the opponent completely ignored the taboos of transcending a tribulation and forcefully triggered the Thunder Tribulation. It was clear that he was risking his life. Facing such a powerful and fearless person, no one dared to provoke him, so they all fled. Supreme Elder. Upon seeing Jiang Ku pushing towards the Thunder Tribulation, the disciples of Black Mountain sect felt both moved and helpless. If they were not careful, even they would be dragged into the Thunder Tribulation and never return. However, given the current situation where they were surrounded and blocked by the Demon Suppression Army everywhere, wanting to forcefully break through, triggering the Thunder Tribulation seemed to be the best method. Fight! Let's break through together. Even if it costs me my life, I will get you all out, Jiang Ku roared, completely ignoring the looming Thunder Tribulation. General Wei, what should we do now? Among the Demon Suppression Army, a black-rank demon extermination general asked Wei Zongqing. Wei Zongqing stood high in the sky, looking down at everything below, his face calm. Although the 1-3 Thunder Tribulation is the weakest form of Thunder Tribulation, I dare not get involved, or else it would be hard to escape. He had only recently become an Earth-rank demon extermination envoy. Compared to the other envoys, his strength was relatively not that great. He was not qualified to face the 1-3 Thunder Tribulation for advancing to the Rune Seed realm. If you wish to be unaffected by the 1-3 Thunder Tribulation, Only the top Earth-rank demon extermination generals or heavenly-level demon extermination generals would be capable.